We're live.
Okay, we're live, folks.
Yo.
Yo.
Let me see if we have anyone. I should pull up another tab with my thing. Hold on. Okay. Welcome, everybody.
Hey.
Trying something a little bit new here. And I figured that we would preface it with this little presentation I threw together.
I think you got feedback. Feedback. Oh, there you go.
All good now?
Okay, cool.
Okay. So, let's just begin with this presentation so that everybody understands our intentions here, all right? So, why are we doing this? Question mark. Oh, wait, I'm still getting feedback. Wait, can you guys mute? Okay, beautiful. To educate, number one. Just in general, for the audience members of the Thorps who may not be aware of all of this, it may not know who's telling the truth and who's not, as well as just in general. I think everybody on this panel just finds this topic extremely interesting and something important that I think everybody can gather value from. Now, taking RD's words, a glimpse into the subtly horrifying chaos of a single fight. As probably most people that are watching know, you've all seen Shamu's video, and if anybody else wants to chime in, you're welcome to too. But you've all seen Shamu's video, and it's more of a general overview of things that have happened over an extended period of time versus we just want to zoom in onto what a specific fight might look like here and just add a little more commentary into the mix. Thirdly, this family is, before I ever met Grace, y'all, I remember it was the beginning of May when I first got into this. And no, it was the beginning of May when I first got into this, and I was just absolutely captivated. And I still can't explain why, but I've just been captivated by this family. And it is just, I mean, yeah, just the fact that it's so abnormal and horrifying to watch and that we've never seen anything quite like it is why I partially, if anyone else wants to chime in.
Yeah, I think Winter is the one who's been around the longest, but I'm like a new person too. So is my wife up there, but I discovered it through seeing Shamu's documentary, like many people. But I think what's interesting, the first thing that even drew me was not just the allegations of incest, but was this element of all of this is online for everyone to see. And so for some people it's entertainment. For the people that are creating it, they have their own weird reasons. And it's like there's abuse, there's narcissism, there's sexual abuse, and there's so many different things going on. And I also just wanted to, like, after I watched the documentaries, was like, oh, well, how do we help the people involved? Is there any way to
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree too.
I don't know. I think through doing this, I brought up this idea to you guys. Like, Shamu's done his great work in the documentaries. Like, what if we took like a couple of videos from one night and really looked at them to see the behavior that's on display and how anyway, and what it's an example of in terms of like all the psychological factors. So I'll stop talking, but yeah.
Yeah, and I think another reason that we us and certain others are so interested is because some of us are people that have been interested in true crime and things like this previously. Some of us have dealt with people like this in our real lives to varying degrees. And also, if you have an interest in true crime and things like that, it's like a situation of like crimes or something that we've watched in the past play out, like after the crime was over, and then watched like stuff about it, like documentaries or whatever. And this is basically true crime situation playing out in real time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and I think for some of us, it's like you become, and I think that's part of all this. There's discords where you can talk to the people involved, or they talk to you, and it's not. I mean, that's another element of how modern it is. Like you said, Winter, it's happening in real time, and for some people, I think just sadistically want to like get involved and watch everything burn down and laugh.
Right.
And it's
Yes,
like,
some people that's what they want.
Yeah, and like they can get into a VC, or some people maybe they think they can save Grace, and it's as easy as that. And obviously it's much more complicated than that. But yeah,
Yes.
what did you want to do, Ava? Yeah, what's the slide?
So essentially next I just wanted to preface this with like what we're going to see here. And I've been researching, trying to figure out if there is like a better term for this. But the best I could come up with, according to this website, which I will read you a short excerpt from it. What the main tactic that goes on and that we're gonna witness here is called circular conversation, which is where essentially I'll just read this excerpt, and you can see the link here. It's from covertnarcissism.com, and let's see. Okay. So they say, I know in our household, in order for my husband to actually have a conversation with someone, it was like we had to go through some big ordeal. It was as though he was announcing to the world in a very robot-like way, we are now having a conversation. Everything else had to stop. Everything had to be put down. Life ceased to exist because now we are having a conversation. After making such an announcement, he would then sit quietly with his eyes closed for a couple of minutes, making everyone wait to hear his quote-unquote great words. It was almost like a ritual. I felt like the trumpets were going to come out of the sky, play a fanfare, and announce that the king was about to speak. It was ridiculous and left everyone on edge. No one felt safe before a word was even uttered. Then you never knew what the actual topic was going to be. It could be absolutely anything, from teeny tiny small to gigantically huge. One thing was always for certain, though. He had been offended, and we were going to hear about it. These quote-unquote conversations feel more like monologues from a dictator, and they last just as long. Everyone else usually kept their mouths shut. Why? Because over time, we had all learned one of our rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I've heard these circular conversations referred to as gaslighting, word salad, and word vomit. I prefer to call them conversations from hell. It is the most painful place I've ever experienced. I've never felt so alone and destitute as I have when trapped in one of these. And I do mean trapped. There seems to be no way out. Nothing you say will change the course. Nothing you say will turn it into a positive direction. The narcissist will unceasingly turn everything around and around, spinning forever in a bottomless pit of negativity. You find yourself defending everything you have ever done, said, or even thought. You are defending a look you had or the way you breathed. Guards are up and active. Spontaneity does not exist. Reciprocity does not exist. There is no natural give and take because with a narcissist, there is no give. Staying relaxed is nearly impossible. In the conversation, you feel like you just can't keep up with the topic at hand because it changes so fast. 1 minute you're talking about your frustration that he isn't helping with the yard work, and the next thing you know, you're defending why you didn't cook dinner last night. So
Yes. Yeah. I think that's a great example of what you see with Ben, and how he talks to Grace and Courtney, and even like I'm sure you or any of us at times, his audience.
Mm-hmm.
There's like so many videos where it's like, okay, we're gonna have a conversation about something, and if it doesn't like fall apart into like funny memes and people joking around, if Ben can just talk for hours about like nothing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I feel like he gives like no one any space to actually think in any way.
That's a good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect way to put it.
And I think that's like what we're gonna see in yeah, like you said, in these videos, which is Courtney tries to leave her house to get away from abuse that's from Ben through Grace, and then is forced to like go on like a panel for some reason, talk to Ben about these circular conversations, and
Which always happened. Always.
right, and like you can see where he does try to manipulate the conversation into like getting what he wants. Where I'm sure we'll discuss this. Like, does he wants Courtney maybe to leave? So if there's a divorce, he gets all the kids and the house and the money. Maybe that was Ben's intention. That's the other thing. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what his intention even is through these conversations. I think even the people involved don't even know sometimes. But I think what's interesting, if we even get
I'm sure they don't, but I'm sure he does, but I'm sure
Right.
they don't.
Right. That's a great thing to say. Yeah, totally. Yeah. What's up? What's next?
So, yeah, I just wanted to read this other thing that I copied and pasted here. Narcissists and psychopaths are well known for a tactic known as baiting. They will deliberately provoke you so that you emotionally react and swallow their blame shifting. When you fall for it, narcissists and psychopaths go to great lengths to create circular conversations that go nowhere. They use these conversations as a space for their gaslighting, emotional invalidation, and projection. They act as fuel for the narcissist's supply. They derive great pleasure in an emotional feed from seeing you react, as it validates their sense of superiority and importance. These tactics also work to disarm you and exhaust you, which I feel like is a very important point, to the point where you are unable to fight back, defend yourself, or engage in self-care, and you just end up being confused.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the interesting thing here is I'm not trying to accuse Grace of being this, but I'm not. We know for sure
By
through
proxy.
yes, by proxy. She is definitely engaging in this, as we'll see. So a little bit of context for these clips and how we came about to doing this is somebody referred back to this video called A Glimpse into the Life of a Female Philosopher. It's on Courtney's channel, and the context of it is Courtney returning from living in her car for almost a month after the first time that she left. And
Slash
this
was
is
like forced out.
yeah. So yeah, to add to that, because if you don't know the context of this, it may look like they have more fuel than they do. So if somebody else would want to explain, or I can.
I mean, I don't know if Winter you'd want to jump in, but in my opinion, Courtney left in February through partly Ben manipulating her to leave, but also her wanting to get away from constant abuse from.
No, the first time was not of her own accord.
Okay, all right.
And it was the first time it was an all manipulated thing to make her think that she didn't want to be a mother anymore. She didn't want to have children, that she just wanted to break out and be free and be her own person and get on the road, as they said, and all this kind of stuff. It was the second time that she actually, even though he drove her out, that she was like, okay, it was a combination of he's driving me out, but I'm taking this opportunity as well.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So like actually maybe after this stream, after these first couple of days in March, then she leaves for the second time on her own accord, essentially, is what you're saying. Maybe.
Well, no. Both times, the first time she was definitely, she didn't even want to go. This was all like a Jedi mind trick thing, trying to convince her that she didn't want to be a mother and have children and all this stuff, that she just, like I said, as they would say, get on the road. And but now the second time was when he was actually driving. The first time, like I said, she didn't even want to go. It was the second time that he was putting her out by a deadline, which was crazy, the stroke of midnight, actually. And he had it was at least two occasions where he was like, she has to get John on the stream to talk to her and engage with us or whatever he was trying to do. In my opinion, it was a ploy to draw him back into the family scene and get him back in and maybe retract some of the things he had said. And he had this weird, the stroke of midnight. She had till midnight to do this, or else she was out, on all this dramatic stuff, and so he did it the first time and she didn't make the deadline. So the way I remember it is he like let it go for like a day or two and then and didn't enforce the midnight deadline and let it go for like a day or two and then carried it over and did it the whole thing over again. But then that night he did enforce it, and you could tell that I don't think that stream is up anymore. I think it was taken down, but you could tell the expressions on her face and the tone of her voice and everything that she was like, oh gosh, I didn't do what he wanted me to do. And this deadline has now, the stroke of midnight has came, and oh my gosh, what's going to happen now, as she was cutting it, and so that was the time that she was actually driven out. But at the same time, she was like, okay, you're throwing me out, so damn it, I'm going to run,
Right. So I think that's what's kind of confusing about Thorp stuff is there's so many threads of history and manipulation and fights that are huge and long. But I guess maybe for this case we can just say, like you said, Ava, Courtney has returned that morning. There was a divorce court proceeding that didn't happen. Nothing really got done, I guess. And she's back at home after she'd been gone for a little while. And it's right. And maybe in this beginning video, we're going to see Courtney essentially, I guess, just doing her own thing in the house. And Grace starts filming her and starts to stream. And it seems like it's at the behest of her father. I don't know. That seems like a good way to put it together.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Some good context. We got experts on this panel, y'all. Okay. So, I think let's begin this. Oops. Wrong tab. Okay. So, yeah, this is when Courtney gets home. And essentially begins with Grace post-fight with Ben following Courtney around the kitchen with a camera.
Pretend us like we shouldn't say we're good when I'm meant to.
So Courtney's enjoying herself.
I love her.
Trying to move on from the situation.
Yeah, I feel like this shows her ability to keep humor and levity alive despite
survival.
Yeah, definitely.
So then we get to around here.
Yeah.
There we go. So this is when the first real instigation starts. You guys will see in a second. Pay close attention.
Let's see. Is Cormax on yet?
I feel like the way she said ha 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 like that is like she knew the shit was about to start.
Mm-hmm. It's right here.
Oh. It's not funny, but the way what Courtney's reaction is just
it's out of discomfort, feeling so uncomfortable.
Yeah. But I think
I don't know what any other person would do differently in a way, you're just shocked, but you don't know what else to do with yourself kind of thing.
I think Courtney is trying not to react and give Grace what she wants. We're responding to something from 4 or 5 months ago because we just think it's interesting. Anyway, I think this is the beginning of, I think the first time I actually watched it, I didn't notice that she had water thrown.
Yeah, me neither.
Me neither, yeah.
She actually does it more than once.
Yes.
Yeah, she does it twice.
And what I see in Courtney with that reaction is more like fear and avoidance, like trying to
Yeah.
avoid this whole situation she knows is unraveling, you know.
Mm-hmm. And if we go back to here, well known for a tactic known as baiting, they deliberately provoke you so that you emotionally react and swallow their blame shifting. When you fall for it, they go to great lengths to create circular conversations that go nowhere. And this is a beginning of that we are watching right now. An example of that. All right, continuing on.
It's like we shouldn't say we're good. We're not meant to be like sleeping and cocaine. So why not these two agree to go our separate ways? Not gonna just say we're good.
No response.
From
Right.
what?
Well, the whole thing.
They're filming me?
Yeah, it's live streaming.
Oh, you are not.
Yeah.
Nah.
So already, Grace is trying to publicly shame, manipulate, I guess, embarrass her, I guess, for lack of a better term. Courtney is like, oh, this is streaming, you know what I mean? But I just say that's already, I think, says a lot, which is like Courtney's trying to do her own thing, clean up the kitchen, watch Hormaxer later, and Grace is just not going to let it happen. She's going to troll
Which is what she was told to do, was
Right.
after the family conversation, was to go get drunk, do whatever you want, clean up a little bit, which is what she was trying to do. And I'm sure that this was under Ben's instruction to come down and, start this whole thing and make it for his personal entertainment. And on top of that, the humiliation factor of like, well, let everybody else see it too along the way.
Cool. Let's keep going.
Continuing on.
Permission. You're not live streaming. Can I just clean up? Do we have to say funny stuff?
Well, I titled this "A Glimpse into the Life of a Female Philosopher." I thought people might want to see.
Well,
Poor woman is just trying to put her damn clementines in the bowl.
Yep.
Dude, I couldn't help but thinking when I was watching, like, just from a very, like, just basic, like, what the fuck, like, if I did this to my mom, like, it's like the amount that Courtney is primed just to take from her, like, the moment that I started coming and filming in my mom's face, I would have, like, it would have been a screaming match, like, of being like, the fuck away from me.
Right.
And Courtney just has to tolerate this, and is not allowed to be angry.
Why don't you tell everybody what you did today? Or how you ended up in this situation?
Let's see, what did I do today? I woke up, went to court. Apparently I yelled at the judge. I don't think I did. I did give her a very dirty look, and I was snippy with her. But she was a huge cunt, so. And then I left. Get the fuck out of my face.
All right, there.
I was very angry at your father.
She did say, get the fuck out of my face right there at that point.
Yeah, that's her trying to, I think, say, hey, I'm a human, get out of my face. Like, she's trying to in some way express herself. I think that's what's interesting about this time period, is she's trying to, it is the same day as the divorce court. That, I guess, I don't know all the details, but I guess they needed lawyers or something. It just, they weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The judge was not happy that they didn't have lawyers and wanted if this was the same one, because they went a couple of times. I'm pretty sure this time is where, the judge had expressed, that's what it was, that they both should have lawyers, and was not too pleased that they didn't have them.
Gotcha. All right.
Not for the divorce proceedings, but he says that's what it is. And then I went in my car, and I went to McDonald's, and I sat there for a while. When then you guys started texting me on the group chat, and then I said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I said, I need some time. I'm out. And then you sent a few more texts making fun of me. And then,
well, we can review the text you sent today.
I'm sure you'll just review the one text that you find especially humorous.
Oh, that's an important part, I think.
This one. This is what you sent today. Well, you can read this.
So Grace makes sure to only show and the text that's, you know, like what Courtney says, you're only going to review the text that makes you guys look good. You're not going to review all of the context. And so one small thing, the blue thing, not that this really matters. It says the night after they went to divorce court, the little sign you put up, I think there's 2 T's. And after you act, no, it's not a big deal. In case there's sticklers that care about that. But I can see, I guess Courtney says, I can see clearly that I'm at a crossroads. Either I understand the proposal and do it joyfully, or I live my own life completely without contact. I guess that's a quote that they're texting.
That's the
Courtney.
quote that they're quoting.
Yeah, so it's not even Courtney's text.
Right.
It's them just taking the small context that they're mad about and then quoting that. So
quoting it.
Even less context than just one text.
Okay. So okay, sorry. Yeah, keep going.
Okay. No, I'm busy. Okay, fine.
All right, this is what you said.
I can see clearly that I'm at a crossroads. Either I understand the proposal and do it joyfully, or I live my own life completely without contact.
So you were suggesting today that you might live your life without ever contacting your family again. Is that correct?
I was suggesting that well, you didn't actually want to hear my explanation of that at the time, but I was suggesting that
why don't
if
you
I
explain
don't
it to everybody now?
If I don't live it, if I don't do this deal, then I assume that I won't have any contact with you because I've left you all in the dust and I'm a horrible person.
Okay, so so Winter, how would you describe what she's saying to everyone here? Which is like there was some kind of deal made where if she didn't do what Ben wanted in terms of living the way he was supposed to live for her, then you basically there's an ultimatum. I know we're missing some exact context, but I don't know if Winter's there. But
I'm here.
Sorry.
It's okay. I actually didn't hear that part because I was looking at something else. I was checking on something else. But what was going on, if I remember correctly, this night was when they were. There was a few times this happened. So wait a minute. This is okay. Wait a minute. This is a different occasion. I'm not sure what was going on because I wasn't listening about this point. When exactly the point was with this one. I think it may have been the stuff about her not wanting to agree that she wasn't going to be a mother and she was just going to leave them and leave and, go out and whatever. This may have been one of those conversations. But like I said, I wasn't listening that time. So I'm not exactly sure.
There's so many different deals that Ben had with her, I assume.
Because actually I was going around dropping this link into some other Discord. So I wasn't actually listening this time.
Okay, I guess for the people watching, it seems like there was some kind of ultimatum for Courtney that was related to maybe living the life that Ben wanted her to live. Maybe it was being the right kind of housewife that did whatever Ben wanted.
If you don't mind rolling it back for a second, let me rewatch it. Maybe I can give a little better insight.
Yeah, of course.
If I don't do this deal at the time, I was suggesting that well, you didn't actually want to hear my explanation of that at the time, but I was suggesting that
why don't you explain it to everybody now?
If I don't live it, if I don't do this deal, then I assume that I won't have any contact with you because I've left you all in the dust and I'm a horrible person. So that's how I meant it. Not like I wanted that, but that would be the result of it.
So you were saying maybe I'll never contact any of my children again.
I felt like that was the consequence of me not seeing things the way I should see them, right?
Well, I don't know.
But you'll just rephrase it. You'll just rephrase it. So.
Right. So, I mean.
So far as I can tell here, I don't remember what the actual proposal was at this point in time. Yeah. I think it may have had something to do with what she was saying, kind of like if she doesn't do everything exactly the way he wants it done, and in other words, being 100% more subservient and compliant than she already is, then you have to leave. But we're going to tell the kids it's because you don't want to be here and blah, 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 but in other words, if you don't comply with this, then you don't get to be here and have any contact with the kids. It's like a way of, trying to force even more submission, which is always so insane to me, because she was so subservient and compliant at that point beyond any human understanding. It's insane, the tyranny that he had going on, that he actually thought he deserved and demanded more, which is what was so insane.
Okay, thank you. That's perfect. Thanks, Winter. All right.
Any other questions?
Well, what are you doing now? So how did you resolve things?
I came over here and I because your car broke down, so I had to go get
Now, okay, what do we think of her being like? I feel like this is like the of her constantly being like, how do we resolve things? But asking for these impossible, acting as if she's trying to get a resolution from this.
Right.
Yes.
A
constant resolution of which never ever comes, no matter what.
Yeah.
But every day a resolution to this, a resolution to that, a resolution.
Right. Like Grace is to some person maybe watching, they're like, oh well, the daughter she just wants a resolution. She's being calm here, maybe that's how Grace wants people to see her.
Yeah, and some people have actually fallen for that and thought, okay, this is a girl that just wants to understand and have some certainty about what's getting ready to happen in the future with her, and and if she's going to be the surrogate mother figure for these children and all this and that. But it's really not the case. But people that don't know the history about this, it can look like that to them, like this is just this ungrateful, no good mother that just doesn't want to take care of her children. Therefore, Grace has a right to be angry about this, Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Southern. What's up?
Welcome.
Hey, what's up? What's up, guys?
I mean, you were around here for this, right? Back when this happened.
Oh yeah, I've been around.
I saw you in the chat when I was reviewing the videos.
I've been around. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're up here too. So if you have any thoughts, obviously just
yeah. Sure, go ahead.
And then I had to bring her back here, and of course it seems stupid not to, or really crazy not to come in and no, come here.
We're about to get some
and
more
talk about it.
text.
So
Dealing with it all alone.
And had a conversation with you and your father.
Well, no, you didn't come in. I said, do you want to come in and talk? And you said, fuck no.
Nope, that's not true. Read the text.
Well, you can read the text.
So
kind of interested to skim over these.
Yeah.
Okay, autist, come upstairs.
Yeah, they're trying to coax Courtney to come bring them 2 Cokes upstairs.
Oh my God.
It's just so wild.
It's always about food with Ben, huh?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah, he's trying
And
to
coffee,
re-involve
cheese and
himself.
crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Cheese and crackers.
I said, okay, autist, come upstairs. You said, no fucking way.
Yeah, that's different than what you said, isn't it?
I said that you said fuck no. Okay, I guess that's different.
Yeah, no. You said you were presenting it.
And it's funny too because every allegation that Grace makes, every single one in this video, Courtney proves wrong. Just want to throw that out there.
If I was saying I wouldn't come inside, I just said I don't want to go upstairs.
So why isn't Grace helping Courtney? Is the thing.
Oh, well, that too, with all the work.
Yeah. No one ever points that out.
Yeah, that's very true.
Moseying.
So she says that later, actually, too. Grace says, "Why are you even cleaning? It's just gonna get dirty again."
Telling.
Okay.
Quickly afterwards, and I wasn't saying I wouldn't come inside. I was saying that I didn't want to go upstairs. Right?
Well, why are you cleaning up now if you're despairing of your family?
Can't answer those questions, Grace.
You can't answer those questions?
Can't answer those questions, Grace. I'm cleaning up because we left it at. Your father said I'm tired. I want to watch TV, and he said, why don't you just go clean up? And I said, okay, yeah, I'm tired too, and I'd like to clean up. And I also said I'd like to watch Pornmaster, which I cannot do now since, well, maybe I can. I guess I have to. You can do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want, but it doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so should I leave? Is that what we're going here for? Like, the conversation's not over? Like, I thought we had somewhat of a resolution.
What was the resolution?
Okay, so we don't. I'm just finishing these stuff.
So you could leave if you want. I'm just asking what the resolution is.
I told you.
What is
We
it?
got a
Literally,
1.25 or
the
something.
conversation is never fucking over.
No, it's not. And notice that she says, you can leave if you want, but then later on when she tries to leave and does leave, it's a whole different story.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what they said when I was there too.
That this is all planned. Oh, wait, that you can leave. Sorry.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah.
always
I can leave. But this comment, I was wondering if you guys wanted to say anything to this.
I mean, what the we don't.
It's all planned.
It's all.
I don't think it's all contrived, dude.
Yeah,
I don't think it's all
just
contrived.
whatever.
I think it's probably half and half, but I think, or actually 75% true. But you can think what you want, dude. You can think what you want. But yeah, I think there's a element of truth to all of this, and I don't think you can deny what you see. So
yeah,
it's fine.
They can think whatever. All right.
Yeah, it's fine. You can think of whatever.
Okay. Okay.
I'm tired. He said, your father said, I'm tired. Why don't you just go downstairs? To do that.
But you said you were despairing of our family today. What's the resolution on that?
There wasn't any resolution, was there?
Well, so you're maybe despairing?
I don't know what's happening.
There's still a family involved. You can't deny there's minor children and they're contriving this whole thing. Like, that's ridiculous to think that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, do we think that here, Courtney, like that Grace may be searching for Courtney to just say, hey, I'm not gonna leave you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love you. So do you think that maybe she's wanting that?
No, not at all, in my opinion. I think this was all, I mean, some of this I think she did on some of these things she did on her own, because what I heard was that she was told to go downstairs and troll Courtney. And that, so no, I don't think she was looking for that. This was all, I think, in my opinion, for Ben's amusement, just to fuck with her. I don't think she was necessarily, I mean, she might have been a little bit upset about some of this, or to a degree, but to me, I don't think so much. I don't think it would have made a bit of difference had she said that, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah. So Winter, wasn't this the point where they were basically kicking her out and she just came back to get her stuff? Or am I mistaken in that timeline?
Yeah, that's not that timeline. This is a different one.
Okay.
She had been away for, I guess, a couple weeks and had just come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Kike, yeah, you're correct about that. I think that they definitely monetizing and posting the family drama was encouraged, but I don't think that there's like some big, like, I think maybe we misunderstood you, but I think what we're saying is that it's not fake.
Yeah, I think it's
not fake at all.
I think we're gonna waste. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I think we're gonna get into circular stuff anyway if we start talking about what's contrived and what is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's just keep moving.
It's just that the conversation ended, and I was glad for it. I was glad to come down here and clean, and I figured we just hopefully a good night's sleep would help me to.
This is not reality TV.
Get some kind of more.
A good night's sleep. You need some more sleep.
That's what I was getting ready to say. Is she said, hopefully a good night's sleep. With if anybody's noticed and followed this story, there's almost never a good night's sleep with Ben.
Right.
Nobody's getting enough sleep.
Yes, Courtney said she'd slept like 2 hours or something like that.
Because he talks nonstop. He makes people listen to him. Nonstop. So if you're in his life where you talk to him, he just continuously talks and he won't let you fucking rest. If you do try to rest, he makes you feel guilty. You know what I mean?
He does use that tactic. And another thing that y'all might not know that I haven't heard, if you did read it, I haven't heard it. So I'm saying this is people that do that know anything about it and the skill that they're trying to, enact is that's part of the tactics is they know that if they keep you sleep deprived, you're more inclined to do what they want to do, and be more subservient and all that stuff because you're sleep deprived.
Yes. I agree.
The brainwashing, in other words, the brainwashing works a lot better if you're off kilter because you're not getting enough sleep.
Right.
Exactly right.
And that's a common abuse tactic too that pops up when you look up like family abuse and just
cultist tactics.
Yep.
Yes, and that's one of the things they do too with like the brainwashing thing. I don't know if this has happened to Courtney or the kids. She can probably tell us is at some point is they'll wake you up in the middle of the night when you are sleeping. They'll get you up.
Yes.
To start the bullshit all over again.
Yeah.
And see, all they do is like watch. All he does, which means what Grace does, is they watch YouTube videos and they just watch it, and then he talks about it, and they go on stream to talk about whatever they listen to. It's literally all they do. If you watch their content.
Yeah, totally. All right.
Nope, I took 2 hours. It was not 2 hours.
It was. You don't know when I fell asleep and you don't know when I woke up.
Okay, well, I don't think you need more sleep.
Well, I think I need sleep. I'm very tired.
Emotional invalidation. Right there.
I know you were so tired that you were a total bitch to us at the courthouse today, even when nobody had a lot of sleep.
Yeah. Okay.
Do 1.25 instead of 1.275.
Yeah, it's a little too fast.
Yeah, 1.25.
Because
maybe?
I'm screaming what you're doing. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to leave because you're screaming what I'm doing. I don't care.
Seems like you care.
Okay. I don't care.
God, she's such a bitch. Fucking bitch.
Well, if you keep in mind the kid is like just sitting right there too.
Oh yeah.
I think it's blurry.
Yeah. We're gonna try to not show him as pop.
Yeah.
I think it's
he'll
get out of. We'll get him out of the. I think he won't.
Just want to say there's no resolution to you despairing about our family. I'm not okay with that.
Okay. Well then, I guess the conversation is not over.
Well, I don't see how it could be. That's a reasonable way to light a cigarette.
Christ. It's just fucking. Ugh. Oof.
So you're just gonna sweep like a maniac?
I think this is normal sleeping.
Yes.
Like
what'd you say? Sweeping's normal. Is that what she just said? Like it's okay to sweep.
Yeah.
It's good to sweep. Okay.
Yeah.
Who else is
Just
gonna
like
sweep,
anything.
bitch? Who else is gonna sweep? Who else?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, but I mean, it's weird.
And that also just goes to show that like whenever like they like talk about Courtney being crazy, like this is their basis for that. Yeah. Is her sweeping.
Like Grace kept being like, "Why are you cleaning so in such an alienated way?" It was
Which that in itself sounds insane.
Yeah.
It is insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
How dare you clean? How dare you?
It's a relationship, right?
Yeah, this is free.
Right?
You can leave whenever you want.
Right. And you can kick me out whenever you want, okay?
I can't kick you out.
Your father can, yeah?
See, there you go. How the kicking out threat. That's where you see it. The kicking out threat. That's where you see it. Right there.
And he does that with Grace now too.
Mm.
Now that it's just him and Grace together.
I mean, you're on the lease, I guess. Yeah, I mean, if you give him that power, then yes. It's not legally official yet, but...
Okay, but you know what I mean. If you ask me to leave, I'll go.
Okay.
But she hangs it over her head is what makes me so fucking sick. Is the fact that Grace hangs it over her head. Like, I'm going to kick you out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, anyway, I'll shut up.
No.
Yeah, it makes me have a lot less sympathy because the one thing where I like had a lot of like sympathy for her was like for Grace is when Ben is always like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a new woman and you're like just gonna have to go and move on your own and whatever," and I'm like, "Damn, that's pretty fucked up from him." But then it's like she's doing the exact same shit. Anyways,
well, there's sympathy on both sides. It's not like there's one side or the other, but there's, you know what I mean? Like it's not like one side or the other. There's two sides that you see where they're manipulated. So
yeah.
Well, I mean, to clarify, that's between Courtney and Grace as far as like what you just said. But no side of the story applies to Ben. I mean, he's the one that's not innocent in any of this, and there is no side to his story that's applicable.
Yes.
Or has validity.
Right.
yes.
Courtney says, yes, I wasn't allowed to sleep at a certain point. Just to add to our commentary earlier.
You're asking for, and you're saying it's not okay. So you go up there and tell your father, Mom's not giving you the resolution that you need, and you can make your decision.
Oh, hey guys,
Why should I do that? Why shouldn't I
let's
just
film it and not help at all. How about that?
Because I don't have a resolution.
That sounds like a good plan. It's
It's
not
Okay,
help
well,
sweep.
I can do this all night.
You fucking retard. Like, help sweep, help clean up. No, I'm just gonna camera. I'm just gonna put my fucking.
You think
film
it's reasonable to say you've despaired about your kids?
Stupid ass. God damn it.
And then just do this.
Did she just kick her right there?
And then about your kids.
He does.
Oh,
And then just do this.
Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I didn't either last time.
And she laughs, I guess.
Yeah. It's just funny trolling.
Right. That's what Ben would say, to troll your mom.
Are you gonna cry?
Ugh.
The taunting with the laughter in the voice.
Wouldn't it make more sense to clean the kitchen with your kids?
Yes. That's exactly what I was saying.
It would.
That's exactly what I was saying. Like, clean the kitchen with your mother. It's not a hard
but
thing to do.
I think what's getting ready to be said though is like that it's a school night and they have to go to bed, so it doesn't make any sense that she's saying that shouldn't the kids come in there and clean with her when it's like, I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's a school night and it's time close to time for them to be going to bed.
Well, yeah,
Right.
and Grace later, like in the other video, like she wouldn't let Courtney tell Joey to go to bed.
We'll see that, yeah. All right.
Okay, continuing.
It's so much, man. I'm telling you, it's so much.
Well, how is walking around the kitchen cleaning and smoking like an alienated person helping anybody?
I was having
Yes,
a good time
it's
before you came
cleaner,
down.
but I mean,
I was having a great time before you came down. Acting like a bitch.
a
How are
great time
you
being a
helping
weirdo,
anyone,
not
bitch? I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
interacting with your kids. Who
I
today?
did interact with Joey. I went upstairs, helped him clean up his room. We talked about like his clothes he needed for tomorrow, and that's what I did. I made his
How
bed.
about you help, bitch?
And I told Maggie I was staying here tonight. She doesn't want to talk to me.
Why doesn't Maggie want to talk to you?
Why do you think she doesn't want to talk to me?
I asked you the question.
Well, that's what happy.
I think she doesn't want to talk to you because today you said maybe I won't talk to my kids ever again, and she feels like that's crazy.
Well, maybe.
And she doesn't want to talk to you if you don't have a resolution on that.
I
We're
feel so
starting
bad
to
for
find her
Maggie.
fucking. Yeah, heckles right there.
Well, so, okay.
Obviously,
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I was just, anyway, keep going.
I'm
Sorry
here,
about that.
right?
Yeah. So what?
I just don't know why we couldn't just leave the way it was. I'm tired.
Leave what the way what was? What's the resolution?
It's just all
You said maybe I'll never talk to my kids again
points.
today, and now you're.
Yeah, dude, it just sucks to see that I just wish I could go there and just be like, dude, it is completely normal to like need some space and some time to like reflect. But that's exactly what they don't want, is they don't want to give
No. And Ben knows that, because Ben knows that if you give somebody too much space, it's going to give them time to get their head together. And that's what that's what people like him don't want to do, is they want to be on top of you all the time, so you don't have a chance to try to sort it out, or get on your feet.
Yeah. You're just cleaning up the kitchen of the place they live in with no plan.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, how does that make any sense?
But this bitch is filming, but yet she's like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You need to do this. You need to do that. Like, fucking get off your phone and goddamn do some shit. How about that?"
Well, I think right. That's what it is. It's like it's not just even about her cleaning. It's about Ben wanting to make Courtney feel uncomfortable and invaded and confused and upset. Right.
Exactly.
You're not acting like a jackass right now.
I'm cleaning up.
I'll never say anything like that, dude.
Like I want to.
You're cleaning up the kitchen of a house that you don't know whether you live in or not, and not because anybody's kicked you out, but because you said maybe I need
Which should make you even more grateful
to leave forever.
I was going to say right quick. Like I said earlier, if y'all when the video's playing, if y'all would mute your mics and then unmute you when you would talk. If y'all don't hear that feedback, because when you're playing a video and you have your mic open like that, it'll cause that feedback.
The Southern is that little buzzing noise from Southern?
I'm sorry, I've been muting the whole time.
I don't know. I was just trying to figure it out. Might be me too. I think it might be that.
I'm a retard. I've been talking the whole time. You didn't hear me because I had to.
But it's not really useful.
No, we heard you. We heard
It's
you.
all good. No, you're good.
Okay.
Is it?
Well, I thought we had some resolution that your father said I really had no choice. This is what I was going to do. So I said, okay, fine. Let's just do this then.
Just do what? He said you can act like an adult or you can act like a child. You came downstairs and started cleaning in an alienated way.
I'm not going to ask my kids to clean at 10 o'clock at night on school night.
Are you going to tell your kids what's going on?
No.
How the hell do you clean in an alienated
Well,
way?
you know that they're not going to go to
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Okay.
You know what's great is a 20-year-old telling
worried.
a grown woman how to raise her children and take care of dishes and do all of that by herself. It's fantastic. So,
But you don't care, right?
I think they're just happy to have me here tonight. I feel like they'd rather have.
Why would they be happy to have you here?
Joey seems happy to have me here.
But did you explain to him what's been going on and calm him down?
No. I said, I'm staying here tonight.
you bitch. God, she's such a fucking bitch.
I was gonna say something.
And
oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I noticed Grace has said that recently. Calm him down. Like, she's used that about Joey and other people too. Like he essentially against Courtney, that she needs to explain something to him. The truth, we don't know really what his reaction was, but there's this idea that like however your son is reacting is because of whatever you've done. Of course, the truth is the way Courtney's acting is through the abuse of Ben and Grace. Sorry.
Yeah, and the truth is as well is that from what I can tell from the angle of where I sit, most of Joey's issues are coming from the chaos of this whole situation, of him getting off kilter and getting upset and having, like tantrums and acting out and freaking out because of the instability and the craziness and the chaos of all this.
Yes, yes.
That's it. I just said I'm staying here tonight.
Okay. This was months and months ago.
Does that make sense? Yeah, it makes sense. That's a temporary solution, yes. Everybody is exhausted from this, and everybody needs a little time.
They're only going to get more exhausted and get less sleep.
This was before the gas was cut off, right? So this was
yes, it was before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they legit, they had to cook their food on a fucking grill, right outside. So
that wasn't during this period of time. The gas was still on at this point.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So.
Also, let's just say it's pretty fucked up that she's using the kids as a pawn here. Be like threatening them, having a lack of sleep.
Yeah, it's always a thing about
talking to her.
Yeah,
this was like 8 months ago.
Yeah. All right, let's do this.
Like you have the video when fucking they took Darius to their house to try to get
wherever I'm at.
I guess.
Be the
And
person
she was
that I can be,
cooking on an open gas stove.
This is just
or
blah, blah,
open
blah, blah.
charcoal
go
shit.
after and put my anger towards my mother.
They didn't have any hot water, so they had to cook on a stove, or on charcoal outside. I don't know if you have that, but that was when Darius came over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're just going through this one, but yeah, it gets crazy.
Okay. Go ahead.
And just try to be humble in the meantime and try not to take my anger out on you guys. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, Courtney.
Okay.
Well, you're obviously angry right now, so.
Okay, because I thought we would just do this in the morning.
Because you're tired? Because the baby's tired. Big, fat, stupid baby's tired.
I find it so funny that she calls her big fat. It's like, dude, have you seen Ben?
Yeah, that's such crazy, immature taunting.
Yeah. Courtney just looking for a semblance of dopamine with some coke here. Oh, she's just kidding.
Father said, get drunk if you want, go down, clean up. I said, that sounds good. Do it.
No, you didn't. You just walked out.
Nope, I said that sounds good.
No, you didn't.
Oh, you want to listen to the tape?
Oh, you recorded everything again like a crazy?
Yep, I did.
That was also like so ironic to me. Her saying,
Yes, I was just getting ready to say that. Knowing they record everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
Courtney
you
can't
recorded that
record.
like a crazy.
Yeah.
It's all just one-sided.
Okay, we can listen to the tape. Well, there's your son. It's 11 p.m.
No, let's listen to the tape.
He's not going to be asleep anytime soon.
Said that I just walked out and didn't say that I was happy to do that. Let's just say.
Okay.
Great. Okay, there we go. Oops. Oh, shit.
More power, more frightening things to say, right? What am I saying? More frightening, more power. I'm never going to contact. You said it in a public. You said it in a public text chat. One thing. One thing, which you have also said. One thing, which you also said. Look, here's how it is. You're part of our lives. They're like I don't want to do these torture sessions. I don't have to do them. I am not going to bar you from contact with us until it gets to that point. I'm not anywhere near that point. I want to watch TV. I don't think, like, this is important. You're part of our lives. What I understood is once I have that line, you're welcome to do whatever with whoever. I've never barred you from anything. You go spend money, go get some booze, get drunk, feel it out. You have this as like two people. I'm not married to you. You have no power over me or my kids. You got to find a way to reintegrate. And however you do that, your thing is like either I'm going to spend the night tonight in my car in the snow in a Walmart parking lot, or I have to. So you don't have to, and I don't have to do that with you.
This part is really hard to watch, man.
Are we listening to the tape? It's almost over.
Are you not looking at the camera? Are you not going to look at the camera?
I don't feel like it right now. Listen. Oh.
Do you want to?
Like she's really trying to get Courtney to snap.
Right. And I guess what's Ben essentially saying, can anyone really figure this out? He's saying something, I mean, I guess it's circular conversation, but like something about like, you can leave if you want. We're not keeping you here. You can sleep in the snow if you want, but I don't know. I guess maybe that was just before. I'm curious if that recording was done just before this. But anyway,
it was from the conversation they had right prior. It was
right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't quite decipher like
What
what
it really
he's
means.
saying, but like I think it kind of demonstrates that like he's throwing out this idea of like it's kind of proving him talking about, oh well, we're not going to bar you from talking to us yet, but it seems like
It could happen. And I noticed he
yeah,
also says
he's
my
threatening
kids.
that.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he says my kids.
as if he actually has the power to do so anyway, legally.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get drunk. Great. You want to go online? Go on Discord down there on the computer. Talk about what you're doing. Great. I know it's tell you you're part of my life. You, in order to do this, need me and the kids, obviously, to do it. And you feel ashamed of your behavior or something. I don't know.
Can we get to the point? I don't know.
Ultimatum type conversation. When you sit over there and watch the TV. That's what I know. That's what we just.
Here she goes with the water again.
I'd be happy to go downstairs and clean up and kick off my boots.
Yep.
As she's also trying to say, I'm happy to go downstairs. Like he's telling her, go drink or go hang out and go downstairs. He's telling her to do that. I think that's what she was trying to maybe express to Grace. Like, I'm downstairs because I was told to do that by your dad.
Yeah, which is what I call the narcissistic push pull, is where they tell you to do one thing, and when you do exactly what they tell you to do, then they want to snatch it back and be like, no, but you need to do this.
Right.
Like it's always like a psyop going on about do this, do this, do this. Then when you do it, no, don't do that. Why the hell did you do it?
Yeah, I was kind of confused by that because I'm like, oh, well, if Ben says it, that's the trump card because, I mean, he's in control of everything. But, yeah, it's like there's that malicious intent behind it. It's the push-pull.
I don't know what she did here. I'd be happy to go downstairs and clean up and kick up my boots.
Throwing the water.
And, go on Discord, maybe watch Hormaxer. Why don't you, in other words, you say I got this huge.
Okay, so I just said it. I said I'd be happy to go down there, kick off my boots, do some cleaning, watch War Master. You said I just walked out of the room. That's not true.
All that to get that.
You lied.
Okay.
Oh, look.
I didn't lie. Okay, so you said
Yeah, and that was why she pulled out the recording to begin with, to show Grace that what Grace was trying to say was not said. And I thought that was great that she had the wherewithal to be recording too, because she knew they were going to pull this shit about, trying to spin the whole situation,
Right.
And that particular time, she had the evidence to be like, nope, that is actually not what was said.
Right. And Grace even says, yeah, okay, whatever. I was lying. Whatever. I don't care.
Yeah. It's like that, which is crazy to me.
I guess I was wrong.
Yeah.
Sure, that's fine. I was
When
wrong.
somebody's wrong, what do they say?
I am not apologizing.
That's not what they say, but okay.
I even if you want to do that, fine. Why can't I just film you doing that?
Okay, but it was clear from that conversation that your father was saying, this conversation is over. And now you made it seem like I just walked out of the room with no resolution to the conversation.
Yeah, you did.
I did not.
Okay,
No.
You said you were going to drink and watch Hormaxer.
Your father suggested it, and I said yes.
Okay, I don't really care what my father thinks. I'm not okay with that.
Well, if you're not okay with it, then he's okay with it. He said he was okay with it, so you have a problem with him, not me.
No, I have a problem with you.
All right, so do you want me here or not?
I want you to get some resolution.
Do you want me here or not?
I don't care.
Okay. Your father wants me here, so then it goes back to you and him.
He said he doesn't care whether you're here or not.
It seemed like he said stay here.
You can stay here. I have no problem with that.
Okay, does he care or not?
I don't speak for him. I don't think he really cares.
Okay, well then I'm just gonna go.
You're just gonna go?
Yeah.
Why? Because you don't like it being filmed? How stupid you are?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Why can't you just get some resolution? You're just gonna go away?
So she does care.
And she said no. I said I'll do it. She said no. You're being hostile, and it just goes round.
It's not resolution to go downstairs and clean something in an alienated way and watch a streamer.
What is like in an alienated way?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's all Ben.
That's all Ben speak that she's learned from him. The Ben speak.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
And she's just trying to say, I want to get away from this like attack. Like if you want me, your father seems to want me here. I just played a recording where he's telling me to go downstairs and chill out. But now you want, and also Grace using the word resolution to mean essentially anything she wants it to mean.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I feel like it means like get down on your knees and like beg, you know, to come back or something.
Or to do whatever I want. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And Courtney is the only reason that she's leaving is, and again, we can revisit here, is create conversations that go nowhere. These tactics also work to disarm you and exhaust you to the point where you're unable to fight back, defend yourself. And essentially the end of every circular conversation, which this is just a perfect freaking example of, is there's no resolution and they win either way. They just win by exhausting you. That's the whole point of the conversation, is they're just trying to push her out. She's not just leaving for no reason. She's being abused right now. I mean, yeah.
And then that's how it goes. Not real.
You just said it right, like you just.
It's not real. You have to say it a different way. You have to say it in a different way.
Oh, are you triggered? Are you gonna go run away? Cry? Gonna go run away? And be a philosopher in your car? Bye, mommy. I thought you cared so much about your kids.
And she's not abandoning the family. She's just leaving to go get some space for the night.
Right. Yeah,
To be
because
very clear.
she's just been she's been pulled. She's been told to stay, come downstairs, and then, you know, or leave or not. You know, Courtney's just trying to not lose her mind. Seems like she's trying to protect herself.
Just trying to get somewhere where she can have some damn peace of mind and be left alone and some peace, you know, from the whole damn harassment, you know?
Bye, loser.
So that's the first one of the saga. Let's see here. Oops. So what else did we? And I like how Grace says at the end, "Bye, Courtney. I can't believe you're doing this to your kids."
Yeah.
Or just leaving for the night.
Yeah. Well, so that's the end of the first video to everyone watching, and we're about to see essentially the second video, which is, I guess, like a minute or a couple minutes after what we just saw, which is Grace.
Very shortly.
Yeah, Grace is going to be trying to get Courtney to come back, essentially. Yeah.
Okay, I'm pulling that one up right now.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Okay.
Here we are, outside of the back door of the house in Warwick. My mother she took my dad's car, which I call my car. It's the Pontiac Vibe, but it's registered in his name. She took it, even though this car right here is her red Mercury Mountaineer, and it's broken. The starter doesn't work. So I called her. She left. I called her and I said, how does it make sense that you take the car and us 5 don't have a car when we have the kids who are going to school? We need to get groceries. So, you know, eventually she said, all right, I'll come back and give you the Pontiac Vibe. So just outside here waiting for her to come back. And I guess we'll continue these shenanigans all throughout the night at this point. It's a nice cold evening, 11:09 p.m. I guess you can't really see much, but that's the driveway right there. So she should be back any minute. Let's see.
Okay.
I can switch this around. Here we go.
So yeah, essentially she
waiting for la madre.
is calling Courtney, threatening her with arrest in a phone call if she doesn't return the car. That's what's about to happen. And
Which couldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Because it's communal marital property, but Ben was trying to make it seem like, you know, that he could get her in trouble for taking off in his car.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what we begin to see, which is Grace uses the fact that I guess the car isn't in Courtney's name to essentially be like, you're going to get arrested. That should happen.
Yeah, but that would not happen because it's communal property.
Yeah. I mean, that's like what my mom tried to do when I was like 15 or something. Like, the car is in my name, you know, whatever. Anyway, it's bullshit. Yeah.
No, that's always what they do, is this weird lawyer shit.
Yeah. But yeah.
And then they tell her that she should go to a homeless shelter instead of sleeping
in the
car.
Yeah. Well, take a bus to the homeless shelter. Yeah.
So they're the ones that like keep pushing that whole idea.
But really, they don't want her to leave, period. That's just like I said, the push-pull about go, get out. No, come back. Go, get out, come back.
Mm-hmm.
But it's obviously Grace's idea, the homeless shelter thing.
Or probably Ben's, to be honest.
Yeah, most likely Ben putting that, you know, yeah.
Cool.
She wants to play these games. She can play them, but I'm just not going to do it anymore.
I'm just going to speed up the beginning a little bit.
Fido is waiting very patiently at the back door.
Saying that if she wants to play those games.
I was going to come in
Mm-hmm.
through that driveway, over here, park the car. She could try to take that car, but the starter's broken, so she can't really do that. And we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens from there. I'm going to wait inside. Just got a text. All right.
It's just interesting. Grace is almost like just so excited. Like she's just like in her element with this.
That's a good point. I mean, she's acting at the behest of her father, but she's been given this like power to go off on your mom, control your mom. You know, it's like
also a purpose. I feel like just boredom, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe could be possibly subconscious. I don't know if it's conscious or not. It could be subconscious, but maybe kind of like the one that is at the submission of being all the time herself, meaning Grace, gets to have some of the power over somebody else. You know, because they say a lot of people that have been abused, they'll enact on other people what's been done to them. And some people like it and enjoy it because they're the one in control.
Yes, I can see that for sure.
Also, I just want to let you guys know we do have timestamps for this video since it's longer, so we won't be watching every second. I think I'll just skip past the beginning to the first significant moment that we wrote down. And yeah, as we explained before, they threaten Courtney with legal action if she doesn't bring the car back.
Yes.
And
you guys can see that, right? Yeah.
And then she immediately like gives in.
Hello?
Please leave your message for
right now. The phone call will. Guys, look at my fingers. Oh, look, bitten to. Is she seriously still not doing calls? I can't sit here and text her.
Texting so stupid.
I tried calling. Okay. Okay. What? Can we calm down here? Can we not say things like I'm echoing. Can we not say things like
I love when they just pause the fights to be like, oh, let's echo. Let's fix it.
Yeah.
I don't think the cops will find me tonight and that kind of stuff.
Well, sure. I can stop saying things like that.
Okay. All I said was, I think you should bring the car back. It's not your car to take, and we need that car.
Yep.
And we don't have to rely on you to bring it back in the morning. It's not your car to take. And also, you left in a crazy way.
Okay, yeah. Like, you left in a crazy way. It's just more obviously gaslighting, telling. I guess Courtney was saying like at first, like, fine, I'm not coming back. If you want to call the cops on me, they're not going to find me tonight. But Grace is like, don't even play with that game. You need to come back. Like anyway, yeah.
Hello?
I left in a crazy way. I left in a crazy way.
Yeah. I said, are you leaving because you find it embarrassing to be filmed? And you said yes. Well, why do you find it embarrassing to be filmed? Don't you stand by your behavior?
I don't know how to answer that question. I thought the whole thing was embarrassing. I don't know.
Why is it embarrassing if you stand by your behavior?
I left not because I was embarrassed, but because I already gave you the answer and you said not good enough. And I'm just not doing that.
You gave me the answer. What are you talking about?
You said, I want some resolution. I want some resolution. And I said it. You said not good enough.
You said, I will try to do the right thing. I'll do my best. Is that good enough? And I said, no, that's not good enough.
Right. I don't know what, you want a certain tone of voice. I don't know. I can't do it.
Yeah, Grace wants a resolution, and then she won't give any semblance of, like, what that is supposed to be.
Right. Yeah, who knows what that means? Just resolution meaning let me control you or whatever. Do what I say.
Yeah.
I've tried to do it. It's never the right tone of voice, the right demeanor.
All right, well, if you can't do it, then bring the car back and go despair. I don't know. Go take the bus to a homeless shelter. I don't care.
Notice what she just said, what Courtney just said. I've tried to do that, but there's never the right tone of voice or blah, blah, blah. It's never right, no matter how much she complies or tries to be resolute. It's never right. Even down to the tone of voice, it's never right.
Right. Yes. That's a great point.
And we can see right here.
Yeah.
The narcissist will unceasingly turn everything around and around, spinning forward. You can't say the right thing. Okay, back to this.
Yeah, I understand that you're saying that you have a right to that car, but you don't need it when you're not being reasonable.
You do not have the legal right to have that car. You're the one who's not being reasonable.
I understand I don't have the legal right, but I'm going to bring it back before you need it.
Well, I would like to have that car back now. And
Grace is just being the one that's unreasonable there. And I wrote down the first time I watched this, I'm like, do they actually give a fuck about the car at all?
No.
I think mostly Grace exerting coercive control over Court to continue talking. As we pretty much covered that.
So with Dad, and it is his legal right to demand it back.
Right, it is his legal right. And
you do not have the right to decide to determine whether we need the car now or not.
Did he not say that he was going to... Well, let's just go through the text hang in a second.
Dad says this type of avoidant behavior is exactly what Courtney claims is great trauma in her life.
That
notice you said Dad said.
Mm-hmm.
So this type of avoidant behavior is exactly what Courtney claims is the whatever. So avoidant meaning really what Courtney's trying to do is protect herself, set some boundaries, and get away from abuse for a little while. And that's avoidant behavior. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Your father said before I said the cops won't be able to find me. Probably he said Dad is legally taking possession of the bike.
Yes.
Right.
Well, can you bring the car back now? And you said you would. Then you texted me and you said I'll bring the car back tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I said I'll bring the car back tomorrow morning. Well, in time to get Maggie or Joe to school as needed.
So you're the one who changed things.
It's crazy how petty they're being.
So you're the one who amped it up. You're the one who said actually I'm not doing what I said I was going to do, which is.
So, anyways,
she agrees. Courtney eventually agrees, and then I think we were talking about skipping through where Joey is.
So let's go to
21
here.
So Courtney comes back.
Here she is, Miss America.
Grace is sing-songy. She's so excited to keep fighting.
Mm-hmm. It's all gonna come back. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Guess she's taking her time in her car. My car. Mom?
My car.
Hello?
It's just not gonna happen.
What are you doing?
I'm grabbing my stuff.
Okay.
Absolutely no space.
Where you go? I don't know.
I guess I'll take the bus.
Or you could come inside like a normal person.
Yeah, that doesn't work though, does it?
Well, I mean, do whatever you want, but you're acting totally crazy if you do this. Can we at least go to the house so that I can have a more stable Wi-Fi connection? All right, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully we have better connection now. I went over to my mother and asked her what she's doing. She said she's getting her stuff together so that she can walk to the bus stop to get a bus to a homeless shelter.
Ben and Grace.
I said she could come inside and have a chat. She said that doesn't work for her.
They're so mad anytime she says a boundary.
Yes, yes. And
Like
can
the
you
tone.
imagine wanting so bad just to get out, even if you had to go to a homeless shelter so you could have some damn peace and quiet and rest and freaking sleep?
Yeah, yeah.
You're just gonna do this in front of Joe? All right.
So,
All right. Yeah.
when does it?
So,
should we?
25, 50.
20, yeah, that's when Grace says Courtney has no right to tell him to go to bed.
Yeah.
Why do I just put my actual hand over his face there?
Oh yeah, it's all we try that.
33.
Just a split second.
Okay, that's a long time. All right. So what do
You're gonna tell Joe about what he should do?
Yeah, I am. Go to bed.
There you go.
Where are you going?
So basically, what the reason we think that's important is that she's telling her mother, you know, Joey's mom, like to not tell him to go to bed. Like you have no
Undermining her
control.
parental position.
Right.
That's
And then
right.
leverages that later. We'll get into it. But
Okay, so now skipping to, so Maggie comes in.
We're
So,
like basically the audio is important. We're Maggie's
Yeah.
there, but if we want, you could
Well, I mean,
just
Joey's
focus on our
in there,
faces
why
or
can't-
something.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay.
We just sit in the kitchen.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Can you guys still hear it? Can you still hear it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay. Margie? Mom just told me that she drove the car back and she said she wouldn't get out of her car. I said, what's going on? She said, I'm going to get my stuff together in this backpack and walk to the bus stop and get a bus to the homeless shelter.
And see, now they're like painting Courtney as more crazy there to Maggie, even though,
Right.
again, like we said earlier, the homeless shelter thing was their idea, Ben and Grace's.
So
And we're
that's what
just-
I'm dealing with, right?
Oh, I was just gonna say to people curious, we're trying not to show the underage kids. So Dan.
Yeah.
Because Grace didn't like my proposal to her, and I said it. She said she didn't like it. She didn't like the way I said it, and I just got frustrated. Yeah, that's right.
That's not really what happened.
What did you say happened?
I would say that I said, I'm not okay with you just cleaning the kitchen in a super alienated way when you don't know if you're staying here, if you're taking care of the kids. Lemons, they are in there. They're
The
choked out.
repetition of that cleaning in an alienated way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that's why Ava started laughing, because it's like it's
Can
just
you make me some lemon ice water, please? Lemon ice water. Thank you. What would I say happened? I don't know. I'm not in court with you. I'm not doing this. You're obviously acting crazy. And you can act as crazy as you want. I don't care. I'm just going to film it. Thank you. Dad says, why don't you put mom on the iMac and let her process with chat? Yeah, you can do that if you want. A lot of great people in here who might be able to shed some light. Yeah, we've got 22 in chat. I understand you're having a difficult time or whatever, but you can go on the iMac and join this stream and just talk to them if you want. Instead of talking to me, I don't care.
I mean, this is
You wanna
I
talk to me,
guess.
right?
Sorry, I was just gonna say. I guess this is where it's all about Courtney. They want Courtney to get on the computer and be on a stream, and I don't know. You know, maybe if that's where people say it's a setup, maybe part of that is we want views because we want Courtney to be on one of our streams, even though she's on a stream right now. But I guess what does anyone have any theory why they want her to be like talking to chat on a stream?
that I don't know, and that part I've still never been able to figure out yet. Why he's so obsessed with everybody doing live streams, and he, you know, and that was part of the thing he still keeps, you know, on about. He wants John to start doing live streams, even though John's not having any kind of contact with the two of them, and is like alienated from their part of the that part of the family. And it's like, I've never quite figured that out either, like what the obsession with everybody live streaming is. And even like, if you'll notice, like people that they come in contact with it, even talk to him for a little bit, he's like, you know what, you'd be a great live streamer. It's like, I haven't quite figured out that whole thing either. I mean, the only thing I can come up with is like control, but that doesn't even make total sense. So I don't know what all that's about.
They want orbiters, I mean, which I'm kind of giving them.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. It didn't make any sense.
But yeah, I mean, we'll just see later how she gets on a live stream and then talks to Ben.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a way for Ben to control her and talk to her. But anyway.
Yeah, and they have people like Ride that are in the chat too that might further confuse Courtney.
Not really. I'm not okay with what you're doing. But that doesn't really mean I want to talk to you. That doesn't really mean I want to talk to you.
So you don't want resolution, which is why you came down here. You said you weren't good enough. You weren't good with it. Now you're saying, like, I don't care. I don't care if you get resolution. I just want you to get on the internet and chat with these people.
I want you to do whatever you want to do.
What I wanted to do is come down here, do some cleaning.
She wants her to do whatever she wants her to do, but we really know that's not the truth. Because notice that that's a something that keeps recurring all the time as well. Is that you do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do. You can do what you want to do. But then as soon as she does, oh hell no, you can't really.
Yeah.
I just said I was going to film you doing it.
No, that's not what happened. What happened was that you were provoking me and saying that you needed something from me. You weren't just like watching me.
Thank you very much. Look at this restaurant service.
Yeah.
She says you were provoking me. Courtney says you were provoking me. And then I think another interesting thing is this whole time Grace is kind of like pausing. I don't know if it's the right word for it, but like being really nice to Maggie. Like she, you know, can you make me some lemon water? Like almost like I'm your real mom now, right? Like undermining Courtney as this other. And then Grace is the nice person.
And Maggie's kind of like rolling her eyes the whole time at Courtney.
Yeah, it's like when Maggie, I'm sure Maggie's been trained as well to be like, whenever she agrees with Grace and Ben, then she gets more love and attention from them.
That things are better. Then it keeps her maybe out of the line of fire as much if she goes along with the jig.
Yeah. So let's see, Grace. Okay, so Maggie's in until 32.
For Margaret. I said I was going to film you. I said I wasn't okay with the resolution. You said this is what I want to do. I said, okay, go ahead and do that. I'm just going to film you doing it.
Right. And you said you weren't good with the resolution.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Okay, but now you're saying, just go on the computer, talk to these people. I don't need a resolution.
I would like a resolution. Doesn't mean I really want to talk to you.
Do you think I'm going to get it with these people?
I want you to do whatever you want to do. If you don't want a resolution, that's fine.
You don't want me to do whatever I want to do because I was doing it.
And I was just filming you doing it.
No, but then you said.
Right, like
like, there you go.
The circular shit. You don't like. I was doing what I wanted to do. You do care about what I want to do because you won't let me do it. And then Grace is like, no, I don't really care. Do whatever you want. It's the circular shit. She can't ever win. She can't ever win and just be.
Yep. Sorry.
If you're not okay.
Yeah, I said that. Am I allowed to say that? You can still do whatever you want.
I can do whatever I want.
Yes, this is America. You can do whatever you want as long as it's legal.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you walk away thinking, what in the world just happened? Conversations are like no other. Your head is left spinning. You'll feel as though you have used every ounce of energy you have and yet accomplished absolutely nothing. You replay this conversation over and over for hours or even days, obsessing over things you should have said or could have said better. You now have a million arguments laid out in your head, left unaddressed in the actual conversation because it was spinning too fast. Yeah, that's really spot on. What do you do? Cool. You still got it? I don't hear the audio. Sorry.
Oh, my bad.
No worries. No worries.
There we go.
You're doing great.
It's not on speaker.
Wait a minute.
Hello?
Jonathan, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Who's that?
This is Grace. Hi, how you doing?
Okay. What is happening?
Oh,
up
this
there?
is horror match.
Okay, yeah. So Courtney finally
Oh, yeah,
agreed
they're done.
on
May or may not.
the iMac to process. And so now she's talking to Hormaxer.
The most helpful.
Right, which, you know, I wasn't, we all, I mean, I assume people watching this are aware of the documentaries, but let's just say Hormaxer doesn't have the best interest of Courtney or anyone in mind and seems to just...
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, if you pay attention when it's rolled, he was only called in because he was, I think, given like $200 or some kind of super chat. I don't remember if that was quite that high or not, but he was given a super chat in order to call and intervene, but he didn't give a shit at all whatsoever. He didn't care. It was about the money for him. He didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
Contact anyone in the family ever again today. So, my mom said she may.
Can
you pause that?
Yep.
Fucking boomer. So I decided just to start messaging her because I was like, okay, I can't really take this anymore. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay, so you're in there with her. She's on the speakerphone.
Yeah, I'm filming her right now. It's live.
Okay, so what's the problem? You don't want to speak to anybody?
I was speaking to them, and I actually recorded it. And the end of the conversation was, "Why don't you just go downstairs, do whatever you want, clean up a little bit, get drunk if you want?" I said, "Yep, all that sounds good." And then I probably want to watch Hormaxer. And then Grace came down and said she wasn't good with that resolution.
Okay.
This is going to be a problem. So that's what happened.
Okay. And what exactly? So you're in the same place?
Yeah, I'm in the mansion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, obviously. All right. Why don't you just go down and sit your ass in the room and maybe go masturbate a little bit? Go flip your bean. You can watch me because you're not going to come out here to fuck anytime soon.
Great advice, but right in an abusive situation, right?
Right. He tells
she's
her,
like engaging.
She's not really
She's
engaging.
like, yeah, she's like, I don't really know how that's gonna help, you know.
Yeah, here we go.
And I can say I get it. I think you're right, but it's not like kind of helpful. Like it's not really like.
Yeah, you see me go masturbate.
I don't think so. I think that's gonna help.
Go masturbate. Leave Grace alone.
I was leaving her alone.
Okay, so what's the problem?
I don't think
it wasn't.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
Okay. I'm gonna go.
Well, you could go. You could tell Joe to go to bed. I don't think it makes any sense.
So,
I did tell him to go to bed, and you said, "Don't tell him to go to bed. You have no
Oh,
right
so
to
now
tell
you
him
have
to go to bed."
sexually explicit conversation in front of him.
So yeah, I mean,
Or pause it.
Grace
What were you gonna
said,
say?
I was just gonna say Grace said obviously said don't tell Joey to go to bed earlier, and then I just felt like this was all just so set up in this way. It was just really manipulative and weird.
Right. Like if people are confused, Joey is in the background there. You can't really see him, luckily. But Courtney, I don't think, knew that Joey was in the background watching TV, so she didn't know Hormaxer was saying the stuff in front of, sexually explicit stuff in front of the kid. And then, of course, Grace blames Courtney for that, even though she wasn't even trying to talk explicit. She's basically like, stop telling me this stuff, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, this just all feels like it's a way to frame Courtney as an unfit mother, and yeah.
And I wanted to point out, if y'all will notice on her glasses, it's missing the side arm.
Right.
From a previous physical assault from Ben.
Right.
And that's how her glasses are broken and missing the arm. And another thing too is that she makes such a big deal, which I don't believe anybody should ever be talking explicit stuff in front of children ever. I think it's very inappropriate, but it's a normal thing in this household. Not that it's normal, but the funny thing is they're jumping on her. She gets jumped on for doing that when Ben and her do that all the time in front of children.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, I would just defend Courtney, and I'm sure, and say I don't think she fully knew that maybe Joey was right behind her. We don't know, but the point is Grace knew that. She could have immediately said, "Okay, guys, stop the conversation. Joey, leave." But needless to say, we see her push Courtney and abuse her physically, and
yeah, it was just an excuse for more.
Right. All right, let's keep going.
You know better than that.
I didn't know Joe was behind me.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. And
You didn't know? No, that's a lie.
Okay.
That is a damn lie. You didn't know Joey was right there behind you?
no, I can't see him. Look at the screen.
Turn your head around. He's right
Oh.
there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So another
Wow.
physical abuse from Grace, and
Jesus.
Really hard to
and-
watch. Yeah.
it's really hard to watch. And also, like, you know, I think before this, I assume it was in February, was when all the court stuff from Ben got thrown out when he, you know, allegedly hurt John, and Grace pulled Courtney's hair on camera again there, just as or she pulled her whole body. So there's
snatched her out of the chair and threw her out the back door.
Right, and yeah, sorry.
So both were after court. Sorry.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I guess. Well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
More
Yeah,
physical
the
abuse
first
now.
one was right after the court they had with that day with Ben and John and Grace, I guess. And then yeah, interesting. I never put that together before. What I was going to also say though is hold on, I lost it just that fast. Hold on a second.
Oh, it's okay. Just that I don't know. It seems like again. Oh yeah.
That several people that were watching this stream that night called the law.
Right. I remember that from the
Oh,
next
wow.
video. So the cops did show up at the end of this video.
Yeah, this is a good point too, that like Grace is acting so morally indignant and then literally physically abuses her mom right after she's like, how dare you say that in front of Joey? And then like
I never really thought about that before, but the physical stuff actually happens right in front of Joey as well, because he's sitting back there.
Mhm.
Right.
What's the difference? You know.
Okay, so
You saw him. I'm not saying it's a big deal, but I'm just saying that's a lie.
wow.
And she's starting to cry.
Mm.
We're sorry, Courtney.
And she tells us later on that that she felt so bad and so guilty that she was starting to cry, because she actually felt like she was making them look bad by crying and making herself look like a victim. And she said she was telling herself in her head, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't be a victim, don't be a victim.
Right, which we all know is what Ben says to everyone, to not be a victim. And she's protecting the abusers. I mean, she's protecting her daughter, which, you know, we all agree, Grace, there's complexity there, but she's protecting Ben even in a way like I don't want them all to look.
Yeah, the Stockholm of it all.
I don't want, and it's also sad because she's also kind of saying, I love my daughter. I don't want my daughter to look bad. I don't want my daughter, who I love, to look like an abuser of her mother, you know, to other people online. I think that was probably in her too.
Yeah.
So it's really complex. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I remember this is also something that I wrote down last night, is just, I mean, that's a really common thing with Ben. I mean, he does it to me all the time too. Like when the abuser I went into Chat GPT and I was like, what is it called when the abuser ridicules or belittles the victim for suggesting they're a victim, or for asserting that the abuser has done something wrong? This can be referred to as minimization or trivialization. The tactic involves downplaying or dismissing the victim's feelings, experiences, and concerns, making them feel as if their emotions and perspectives are unimportant or unwarranted. It's a form of emotional abuse and manipulation aimed at maintaining control and power over the victim by undermining their self-esteem and self-worth. Additionally, it can be part of the broader pattern of gaslighting. Okay, continuing on.
Maybe I'll just hit the chats. Let's see.
I think Joey walks through in just a second.
Raymond says Ben can't bite, he can only eat. Apparently, Formaxer was.
Let me just do this really quick.
Doxed by accident. I hope not.
Courtney accidentally doxed Formaxer.
No, that was Grace.
Oh, Grace. Sorry. Grace.
Yeah, by putting the camera on the phone as it was ringing.
Damn. This comment, bro.
It's like, yeah, thanks, bro.
If you were to clean the kitchen with sexy lingerie, I'm saying it's an option. Okay. What else? Greatest ally again with the doxing. Doxing. Sorry, Hormaxer. Didn't mean to do that. Doxing. Let's see.
Oh.
Callum, maybe you should get on a plane right now to Jonathan. Echo Ben, that's abuse. Callum, kick her out. Assuming you need. Joe Joker, that's assault. Let's see. Yeah, let's go to bed. Yeah, let's get Joe to bed.
Oh.
Okay. So she.
Oh, she's the one who doxed him? Okay. Well, that's something I don't have to worry about. That's good.
Where he's like, oh, I don't have to worry about that. It wasn't
I think
my
I'll wrong to
fault.
say that Hormaxer like deserves it. I don't think he does. I think he's a great guy. Let's see.
Hot take.
26 people here. I'm gonna go get another drink. Go to bed. For the arrest of Grace. I disagree. That's fine. I don't care.
She wants to protect her
let's see.
daughter.
Mm.
She wants to protect
I'm calling
her.
Hormaxer. No, what are you doing? He called just to try to help out. What are you talking about? Why would you call Hormaxer to call him a bitch? Like, what did he do except try to help out? I have no idea why you would attack that guy. Really nice guy. Called to help out. Really did. Called to just kind of.
Okay, we don't need the Hormaxer schmoozing.
Yeah, I mean,
acting like a lawyer, and I turned to her because I was not in the mood to play.
Yeah, the lawyer mode is spot on. Okay.
And I said, I'm not acting like a lawyer, because she meant you're acting like you're trying to act like a lawyer. And I was like, no, I said no, I'm just answering questions. I'm not trying
That's
to act like a lawyer.
projection
no,
right there.
Representing yourself legally. And I was like, yeah, I know that, but that's not acting like a lawyer. I can't remember exactly what I said to her, but I knew what she meant when she said it. So, and she said it in a very nasty way. So I responded with as much reserve as I could. And then Ben said that I was wrong to speak to her like that, and she was being professional. And I said, no, she wasn't being professional. It's not professional. She took a jab at me. I knew it. A professional person doesn't do that. She was pissed because she might have to do some extra work. She was pissed because I didn't have a lawyer. I had every right not to have a lawyer. She could have said nicely, this is going to be a problem if you don't have a lawyer. I don't think you're quite prepared. Are you sure you don't want to wait and seek counsel? But that's not what she did. And Ben defended her. And I said, why are you defending her? She's an absolute cunt. And
so I think,
said,
you know,
that way. My point.
Courtney's just talking about how everything in their divorce court proceeding went wrong. And I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I wonder if she feels attacked by, it's like she's trying to maybe leave Ben, and maybe she feels like the judge or whoever is like kind of attacking her. Like, you know, maybe Courtney feels like, you don't know how I feel right now. Like, anyway, just like, yeah.
I wanted to address a comment that Rod put in the chat where he says that the fact that she's protecting Hormaxer shows she's not the victim. Rod, that is not true. That is part of the Stockholm, to protect people that are not good and are doing bad and harm to you. That is part of the Stockholm.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know enough about the whole. I mean, I've seen the Hormaxer stuff, but it seems like Nate, did Ben really like Hormaxer? Maybe that was part of this whole thing. Like, was she supposed to like him? Or
he was kind of like the mediator between the relationship. Right. I remember them saying.
Yeah, like acts like a neutral. I don't know.
And then maybe it was a separate person that wasn't Ben, that was maybe in her mind being nice to her. Who knows? But it's anyway.
Right.
Also,
no, she does have a habit of defending really messed up people that do really messed up things. It's part of the Stockholm. It's okay. Regular. She does it quite a lot, actually.
And then just to address this person, I assume this is probably an alt account from Ben or Grace, but I just want to say this isn't slander. We're literally watching what Grace posted exactly, and I don't want them in the chat right now during our analysis, just because they're going to derail it. As you can see, this is what they do, is just gaslight and try and distract and control and domineer. And so afterwards, I'll let, like, if they wanted to come on and defend themselves, I guess they can do that maybe.
And I mean, to me,
exhausting.
We're not talking about any of the allegations. I don't think being super dramatic. I think we're being pretty level-headed here and just kind of reacting to, these are our theories. Yeah, these are our opinions, but I don't think we're being too over the top or dramatic.
Yeah.
That's just my
Nothing that
opinion.
we say here is fact. Yep, just to clarify, we're not professionals. These are all just our opinions as watchers and
Yeah. It's just people.
slash, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so here we go.
It was, they shouldn't speak to me like that either. I'm not a piece of crap. But then he said I was being white trash. Maybe. A little bit. Oh, Ben's got a question. Don't you see how your avoidant behavior towards Grace is exactly what your family does to you?
Okay, I'm just addressing this one more time. We're not talking about the allegations you've accused Ben and Grace as abusers. Be honest with yourself, at least. We aren't accusing. It's literally there's evidence right here.
Right. I think I would say that's many people define the physical actions that were happened to Courtney as abuse.
Yeah.
I don't think
that is the physical abuse.
And notice he enters the chat to make comments to her.
Right. So when we say, don't you see how your avoidant behavior towards Grace, which I still don't fully understand what the avoidant behavior is. She's left the house for Grace. She's gone on the chat for Grace. Grace said, I don't even want to talk to you. I know right now Ben's trying to connect it back to Courtney's own childhood trauma.
Right.
But again, it just seems like circular logic, like making her head spin.
Yeah. He wants to spin it back on like the Freudian shit about her parents and stuff. So this is all like a setup to that, because when he gets on, that's pretty much all he wants to talk about.
My point is that the conversation was over. Grace said she wasn't good with it. She came down. She wanted an answer. I gave her an answer. Yeah, okay, fine, greatest ally. Yeah, I know, but she didn't say it in that way. I guarantee you that. She didn't say it that way. I get it. I get what you're saying, and it seems like a reasonable thing to say. She did not say it that way. So back to this question, don't you see how your avoidant behavior towards Grace is exactly what your family does to you? So I gave her my answer. She said, I'm not good with that resolution. You're just walking downstairs. I said, okay, I'll do my best to try to behave myself, which I was told to do. Behave yourself. And I said, I'll try to put my anger towards its source, which is my family. And she said, that's not okay. It's not okay. Okay. So to me, there's a distinction between like avoiding contact at all. And when I speak to my family, they avoid, but like with this one, like there's no answer that can be given. There's no answer that can be given. It's never going to be the right answer.
Okay.
It's never gonna be said in the right way. It's never gonna be worded in the right way. I'm never gonna have the right demeanor. It's just gonna go on and on and on and on and on.
Right.
So I think there's a difference there.
Right.
Because I think if my sister said to me, or somebody, or my mom said, I will try to do this, I think I would say like, all right.
Wait, was someone trying to talk, or was that?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was just saying, like, Courtney is saying it right to us. Nothing is ever the right answer, and whatever you're telling me to do, I try to do, and then it's never the right thing, right? So yeah.
I also wanted to point out. Notice that she said that she's not. She's supposed to be directing her anger and her issues at her family, and when she says her family, she means her like her mother, her siblings, her father, the people that Ben has tried to convince her that she's the one that's wrong and the horrible, awful person, because she has these issues that carry over from childhood that she's directing at them, which is projection, which is a major thing with narcissists and malignants, is that their own issues, which he had his own issues that created him. So he's going to, and he subconsciously or consciously knows he's the one that's doing all this. So he's projecting it onto her that you're doing all this to us. You're abusing us. You're mistreating us because you have unresolved family issues from your childhood. That's something he's always pressed and tried to brainwash her into believing, and has been a huge narrative in all this. And tried to make it like this was, he's always tried to paint this as, start paying attention if you haven't noticed prior to this, how much he tries to impress that upon people, that this is the core of the problem, is Courtney's all messed up from her childhood, and she destroyed all of us because of her childhood issues.
Right.
Good point. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm just Googling right now, narcissistic projection. Like there's so much literature about that too.
Shot.
Yeah, whenever you...
I don't think I would keep saying to her like, well, it doesn't sound like that. Well, I'm not getting the right thing. It's just not quite right there. Like at a certain point, like that just stops everything. let's see. No, that's not literally what Grandma Melody says. I can never satisfy you, Courtney. She doesn't talk to me at all. She refuses to talk at all.
Grandma Melody.
Is poor Maxer getting like a bunch of shit now? Like, is this bad? Like, is it awful for him? Is there any way we can stop that? Like, do people have to do that?
See her protection of poor Maxer, even though she's in this bad situation. She's like, please, nobody bother him. He's so great, you know, which is part of the Stockholm. Protect the bad ones, protect the bad ones, protect the bad ones.
Because obviously, to some people that might not know, like Maxer, you know, anyway, he's not been good to Courtney, I guess, or Grace.
Courtney would argue otherwise, but no, he hasn't been. But she would argue otherwise.
He also did not prepare, but I was the idiot. Here's the thing, Ben. They give me answers that I don't find satisfying, but they give me answers that don't agree with my answers. Like they'll say, like, we don't agree with you. That's not true. You shouldn't say that. But when I say, like, okay, yeah, that's still not good enough. They never say, okay, yes. They never say that. They never. So there's a difference there, right? Did I shut down the conversation with Grace, or was it me being crazy, or was it her asking for something that she was never going to like accept as an?
Yeah, how is she shutting down the conversation? She's literally having it right now.
Right, and she, whenever Courtney went downstairs and did her thing, like she clearly had this conversation with Ben, and then Grace went down and fucked with her. That was all she did for most of that, you know? Yeah, we could. Do you want to slow her down just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm about to slow it down when Ben comes on here.
So.
An answer. I'll put it to the chat if you guys saw it. As Lily walked out the door and drove away. Okay, why did I do that? Because I gave her my answer. I've been down this road hundreds of times, and she was not going to accept any answer. It was nothing. Like, there was nothing I could say. I said what I was going to do, and she said, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Did you shut the conversation down? No, you did not. But when you tell me over and over again, like, not like that, not like that, no, you can't say it like that, you can't say it like this, you have to say it this way, you have to be here, we don't believe.
It's just so weird to me that they're like talking to her through chats, but not like they're all in the same house. It's so weird.
It's like how Amelia and I are right now. No, I'm just kidding.
You're not saying it the right way, you're hostile, that's not what you think. You know, it's like, there's no answer to it. That's what I'm starting to realize. There's no way to say it that's going to be okay. And you could throw the thing about my family in my face over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. And I'm not my mother. And I'm not exactly like her. And you could say,
and you know what's funny too, from my own experience, they do that. This is another, it's a common tactic that Ben uses of like projecting and saying, oh, your family abused you and this is why you're like this and why you're like a horrible person.
You have
he did the
when really it's
same
him.
shit to
it's
me.
him.
Yeah, like,
and because it's that projection, Ava. It's that projection of that's what made him the way he is. So he has to project that onto other people because they can't take responsibility for how broken and messed up they are because of what happened to them and the examples that were set for them. So they have to throw that and bestow and project that off onto somebody else to disown it. You know, not me, it's you.
Yeah. And then he does that with Grace a lot when he says you're like Courtney. He tries to know you're just like your mother card. But dude, he did the exact same thing when I was there. And the fact that my family wanted to pick me up from his house, he was trying to say they're abusive and controlling, and that
the reason he says that again is the projection, because he knows if it was him doing it, that would be why he's doing it.
Right.
And
Go
ahead, Artie.
Oh, I was just saying it when really Ava's family just wanted to protect her and treat her like
which was the normal thing to be doing. But one little trick that if you've dealt a lot with a narcissist and you learn about is that not all things, but most things, majority of things they accuse you of is what they're guilty of themselves. They always will have to project that onto somebody else.
Yeah.
Let's keep that in mind throughout this.
Exactly like her, but I know I'm not. And that's your way of kind of like putting me in my place, like, because you know that's my sore spot. Like, oh my God, I don't want to be my mom. I close my eyes and try to say like, okay, well, then like, you know, what is happening in front of me? Like, I'm giving answers, they're never explored, and calm down. For an opinion. Never
Notice that she did have at least the awareness of that.
Mm-hmm.
One hostile way. Okay, here's the problem.
So yeah, so now they're the ones that are giving this ultimatum, which is,
Right.
and it's like she's been talking to them in a non-hostile way the entire time.
Right,
We've
she's
watched from the beginning.
Right, she's been talking to them in a normal, calm way, and she's not really despairing. She was cleaning the room and chilling out, and they go in and create a hostile atmosphere where she wants to leave because she wants to protect herself.
But I feel like they want her to like willingly stay, like with her own will or something. Like break that too.
Mm-hmm.
If she's gonna stay, she needs to just be
like,
not.
I feel like the only thing that she has left is like her sanity, and like the only way to come back would be like giving up that last bit or something. And like they want her to like conditionally like be like I'm willing to stay, and that would like kind of be the last thing for her in a way at this point.
Right.
God, and I remember hearing somewhere, and I can't remember where I heard it. It might have been like a Sam Vaknin video or something, like one of these like narcissist education YouTubers being like, the narcissist is like they want you to like surrender yourself to them, but then once you're surrendered to them, it's only because you've been so manipulated that you're not, that they know that you're not.
I remember
actually
that it's not of your own will. They want it.
Yes,
they want it, but they don't like that it wasn't of your own will. So it goes back to the thing again where they're never happy no matter what the situation is. They're just never happy no matter what.
Sort of,
because it is true. It's like they want to break you down and have you in total submission and have complete and total power over you. But then they're mad as hell that you weren't strong enough to resist them, and they hate you even more for being so weak enough to let it happen.
Yeah.
Couldn't put it better.
If I ask questions, if I have a different opinion, if I say, well, can we, like you said this and you want me to agree with it, but I've got some reservations about that. I'm accused of making the conversation go too long and derailing it. So when we talk about conversations here, we're talking about, as far as I can see, me agreeing with everything. And if I don't agree, or if I've got a question,
I wanted to just say right quick, notice she said that she's accused of making the conversations too long and derailing them.
Right.
Now, we have seen evidence to the contrary, correct?
Yes.
No, this is not what happened. If I say I don't agree with you, drive off. No, that's not what happens. This is true. Whether it's good or bad, it's true. I stonewall constantly.
No.
I stonewall. I mean, you want to look at some of the, everybody's seen all these conversations where like, either I'm completely crazy. Okay, fine. Maybe I'm completely crazy. I'm completely crazy. I don't ask reasonable questions. I'm hostile. I don't say what happened. I'm crazy. Like, none of that's true. Like, I've been trying to tell myself that forever. Like, it's crazy to have a question in a conversation or say, I see it in a different way. That's crazy. Or it's hostile, or it's making the conversation take too long. All right, maybe it's crazy. Maybe it's crazy.
Damn. You can just see the two sides fighting, man.
For sure. Definitely. I think that's the whole thing. It's like a whole battle inside her head. You know?
Why don't you put a 1 in the chat if you think I'm crazy? There's 25 people here.
Well, I mean, I think this is important. I think this is important because I really think Courtney is starting to
I say reasonable things.
To realize that she is maybe she isn't crazy.
You see right through this, and you see
and that maybe
a crazy toxic person who's like caught in a
she has an identity
pattern that like I cannot see out of, like kind of like a hoarder or a a drug addict. So far I've got 1/2, 2, and 3. Very helpful. The people who actually kind of took it seriously. We've got almost a tie. Okay, so false dilemma. There's something between 1 and 2, loser. Is there?
What?
Is there something between 1 and 2? Because because you never acknowledge like.
Oh,
I gave you
now
a better
Ben
point,
wants to see
right?
the
So it's
gray
like,
area.
it always seems like crazy. Like it's crazy. Like everything I say is like, no. So how is that between? When do you ever say like, yeah, right to me?
Here,
How's
can
it
you
between
pause
1
it?
and 2? Like you never.
I just think, yeah, I think it's interesting that Courtney's fighting back here. She's fighting back and saying, no, I'm not. I don't think I'm completely insane. I think, you know, and also, of course, there isn't a thing between 1 and 2. Like, I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Courtney's trying to say there's something wrong here, and I know that I'm not doing everything wrong in terms of how you guys feel about me. And I think that's why it's interesting. Maybe it's why Ben ends up coming on here pretty soon, which is almost to be like, you know, she's having her own sense of identity too much. Anyway, that's all I'll say.
Never say like, yeah. 2 for crazy. Wait, 2 is not crazy. Sorry. Grace wants Courtney out of their lives so she can officially take on the wife role. That is not true. She does not want that role at all. I know that.
That's true, but
let's see. Let's see. You can be right, but also be wrong. Bring there still.
Oh, there you go.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, so your contention is that
I hate that jacket.
you're either crazy or you're perfect.
Nope.
Perfectly reasonable.
No,
So do you think there's another category of people who have basic rationality but have deep-seated patterns that are irrational in their lives?
But here's the thing, like.
Do you or not?
Yes, I believe that. But
so that is the category that I think you're in. If you were completely crazy, I wouldn't deal with you for a second.
But you started off by rephrasing the argument I'm making in a way that wasn't the argument I was making at all.
If somebody has a problem, which you said in every circumstance you've ever lived under the roof with me and Grace and John, and all your other kids, that there has been a massive problem, and they want to work it out with you and say like, we need to work this out. That's legitimate, right?
Yep, it's legitimate.
Okay, but you don't like it. You don't like it.
Okay, but then how would you count for like 5 years?
You shut it down and then you act irrationally and you run away.
8-hour conversations for 5 years.
I don't care how fucking long the conversations are.
Oh, here she goes.
Oh, okay.
Pause it. Sorry, I just wanted to say this. Courtney fights back again. She says 8-hour conversations for what, 5 years? Is that what she said? Like, this is my life, Ben. Like, I'm losing my mind. These conversations don't make sense. You know, it's like they hate that. They hate that she's fighting back and trying to say, you guys don't make sense. Anyway, yeah.
Good point.
All right, you got to talk.
Okay, so you're saying
you act exactly like your parents act towards you. That's the problem here, obviously.
But your contention is
your family. They go, well, try therapy. And you go, well, it's not about that. Can we talk? And they go, no, I tried. That's the end of the conversation. Right? And you let it go then. And you get shut down. Grace isn't allowing herself to be shut down. And it should be an inspiration to you. But instead, you agree with them. And that's your fundamental problem in life. And it's not that big of a fucking deal. But I'm not having it here.
Now, does he think that it's normal to have 8-hour conversations? And the answer actually to that is yes. I can answer my own question because there's another stream after this, guys, of this saga. It's 5 hours long. The morning after.
Maybe that'll be a different stream. Well, depending on how.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That can be part two.
Yeah, and in that one, just a little spoiler. Ben is basically trying to convince them that that their family problems are just normal and that everyone's family has these problems.
I'm not having it in my life. If you want to ally yourselves with that way of dealing with things, then go with them. That is not how we roll. It's not how anyone rolls. You don't just get in your car and walk away when you don't want to answer a question and then let people just hang and deal with it. No, that's called immature, irrational behavior. Why can't she ask you questions and you try your best to resolve them?
Wait, okay, so she can't leave. She can't protect herself. You have to listen to whatever Grace says. That's what he's basically saying.
Essentially.
Yeah.
You want to say, oh, there's no way I could possibly answer your questions. Well, then what are you doing here? What are you doing on Earth? You have bad patterns. They're not unique to this family. They're not unique to me or Grace. They come from your family, obviously. You hate them personally. You've said you're a traumatized victim of them, and yet you're doing them to others. That's a problem. It's a problem that there can be sympathy with.
Projection.
At some point, you got to say, what's wrong with this? Isn't this it? There's names for these things. It's called conflict avoidance. It's typical for people who've grown up in abusive households. And it causes traumatic patterns to not be resolved.
Okay, but what would you say about the fact that, like, if I am
you should do to your mother what Grace is doing to you, not buy the bullshit and annoy her. Put it on YouTube.
That sounds familiar. You know, Ben's like Courtney should basically troll her own mother in the same way that Grace has trolled Courtney. So it's like not that different from other things he's said in the past.
So I just want to like.
And it causes traumatic patterns to not be resolved.
It's so hard to follow
him.
The
fact that, like, if I am
you should do to your mother what Grace is doing to you, not buy the bullshit and annoy her. Put it on YouTube. That's the key. Then we're all happy.
It's the key.
Then we're all happy.
Yeah, we're all happy.
What?
Yeah, bring
that
her on.
is key to life, y'all.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, it'll be fun. What's the big problem?
No problem. I didn't want to do it, but I'll do it.
Yeah, great.
So now he's like, now what are we going to fight about?
Right.
Trying to think of a new issue.
I don't really have an idea of what to do, but I guess I'll figure
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Why don't you just say, let Grace, Maggie, Joe, Tom, Charlie, John, you guys are welcome to ask me questions whenever you want. If you're having a problem, I'll try to work it through with you as best I can. God's here to help. I think a lot of these things have been caught up in this pattern. That's awful. What's so hard about that?
I guess, like, when I think about Grace, like, she says, like, well, that's really not good enough.
What's not good enough?
I said, like, it's complicated. I don't really know. You know, I'm gonna try to figure it out. Like, this is what I'm up to.
Like, don't really say that to her. You get rude and hostile to her. As we can rewind and see.
I mean, what?
As we can rewind and see. Now, is that what we would see if we rewound?
I mean, and that's what makes this whole thing so, like, in this moment, so modern. Ben being aware that in this stream, anyone can go backwards. In his mind, of course, Courtney looks insane.
But yeah, he's framing her. He thinks in his mind that this is the perfect framing to make Courtney seem insane or something. But
right, and that forever people are going to watch these videos and see
and judge
Courtney
her.
being right and judge her. Obviously, the opposite is happening.
Forever proof. Yeah.
Right.
See.
Sorry, go on.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Oh no, Ben's wrong. The opposite's happening. The world is seeing these videos that are online forever, or however long they'll be here, and they're judging him. And that's just the reality.
In this particular moment, I think he knows what he's saying is not true, but it's just that he is aware that it's not the truth, but he's just trying to use it to further gaslight her.
Right.
And because I thought a really big confirmation of him being aware of what he's really doing when some people think he's not, and think he's too mentally ill and shouldn't be responsible for what he's doing because he's so mentally ill. And I highly disagree. I think really good evidence of that was on Lalo's stream the other night, the most recent one from Lalo, where he's admitting all that stuff and says, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and this, and she still cooks me food and basically, kisses his ass and worships him and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to, get too graphic about what I'm talking about, but those of you that have seen the stream, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. His grand admission of why he's the Mack Daddy, because he can manipulate all these people and make them think he literally said that in a certain way. If you listen to that or would go back and listen to it, that he knows that he's manipulating her into thinking she's the messed up one and comes crawling back to him and all that stuff and deserves it and blah, blah, blah. So he's well very well aware of what the hell he's doing.
Right. I know we're not talking about that, but that was like, you know, like OJ's If I Did It. That was like Ben's If I Did It. You know?
Yes, exactly the same principle. Kind of like, here, I'm telling you that I did do it and this is what really happened, but I'm going to leave that little element of, I'm not going to totally say it.
Yeah.
By if.
Away with it. Wouldn't that make me a baller? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right with that. He's pulling the same card with that. If this was the truth, then aren't I the man?
Wait, I want to find that clip now. Let me hit play.
He admits he admits it all over himself.
So what?
With that one.
So what? That's how you've learned how to deal with things. Change the pattern. It's not so much that you're going to say, okay, Grace, I'll listen to you. It's more like, I think you're not going to get it right with Grace until you get it right with your parents. And just say to them, it's not that big of a deal. Just say to them, I troll my parents, right? To the ends of the earth. I do not give a fuck. So why are you so persuaded by this strategy? It sucks. Your mother's a loser. Your father's a loser. All your sisters are losers. You want to be a loser like them? I want to be winners.
Yeah, I mean, my thing about like why I was
Fun to be a winner. Grace is fun. She's funny. She's funny. Good for her. She threw water at you. Good for her.
Good for her.
Funny. You need it.
Threw water.
Your mother. Go throw some water at your mother. Invite her out to lunch.
Oh, so that's how you get resolution.
Who cares? All this fucking bourgeois terror.
The problem is that whenever I do anything like that, then you shame me, or you say,
"Oh God."
Yeah, like whenever. So like it's
now. I'm telling you, throw water in your mother's face. I'm not saying do things that you see what I'm saying. You don't. Grace trolls you right now. Now she's not. She holds back though, right? She doesn't do things that give you like the big win. But you do that.
This is one of the nights that she's doing the thing where she's double-minded. She talks about being double-minded with this whole situation. This is one of the nights where she's like giving him some pushback about, no, this is not all me. This is not all true. Where on different videos, everything he said, she'd be like, you're right. You're right. It is me. It's all me. You know, and she's talked to us, you know, behind the scenes about how she would be double-minded like that, you know, to where she was, some days she was like, no, this can't be right. And then other days she was like, well, it is me. I'm the problem, you know?
Right. And I think he uses, I know maybe this is a little off the subject, but when he's talked about her family, whatever truth there is and valid issues she has with her family, he's using those issues, those valid issues, to prove whatever point or manipulation he's trying to
yes, and to gaslight and manipulate her and her into believing it's all her fault. Here's a good thing that I wanted to put out there for the audience if they're not aware of it, is I hope I'm not, you know, disclosing too much by saying this, but she's discussed to us about how a family member, I won't say the name just in case maybe she doesn't want, you know, me to say that or whatever, but how a family member, a very close family member of hers used to do this to her, would sit down her every day and like talk for like 5 hours every day. And in my opinion, I think her disclosure of that to Ben is what
did Winter
this with the hours of talking every day, you know?
Yeah. True.
Let me share this clip really quick.
It's the clip that's been shared around.
Yeah.
To me, it's very, very telling of the awareness, the high level of awareness that he does know what he's doing.
Okay, here we go. Oh, oopsies.
Oops. Sorry, is it not loud? Sorry, it might not be loud enough. Huh. Sorry about that. It's a clip I sent you, but it might not be loud enough. Sorry, I don't think we can hear it, Ava.
Oh, you can't. Oh, wait. I know what I did wrong. Hold on. Technical difficulties.
It's all good. This is the first one. It's not too bad. Not bad at all. I assume most of the people in this chat have seen this clip. I think.
And I do want to take this opportunity to throw out the disclaimer there that although be it that Grace is 20 years old and she is definitely responsible and completely in control and responsible of her own faculties, that she is very much under the influence of somebody that's controlling her and the Stockholm of her own self, you know, that it's kind of like a double-edged sword with her, you know, where it's like she's, you know, both victim and perpetrator. It's what it's turned into.
Yeah.
Okay, for some reason it's not letting me share the audio.
Oh, it's all good. I mean, if we really wanted to do it, we could go on Lalo's. We could find Lalo's stream.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's pretty easy to find because you just go up to where he comes up. It's really easy to find. You just go fast forward to where he comes up and makes his first appearance on the stream, and that's where he starts it all.
Yeah, if you go to Lalo's channel, I'm sure it's...
What is Lalo's channel?
I think it's...
If you type in like Lalo and then Thorp, it comes up.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I believe it's the live video reacting to Kino content, and I believe Ben shows up. I want to say you can. I'd say take it to 4:18.
The first time he comes on.
Is it? Or sorry. Yeah, before he comes on, it's like before. It's you gotta find right when he comes on. So go back. Keep going up. Like right. It's around here. Like this is where he shows up.
About that, right?
I got on Destiny. I got on Destiny as a different point.
He likes it better if he's just doing spots.
Okay. All right, let's do it the other way now. Let's do it about Grace. Let's say whatever. Who cares whether it's true or not? How doesn't it work for her? She fucked her fucking loser mother over, got out of a situation where she had to be this sort of fake mom and prop her fucking loser mother up. Gets to sit on her dad's dick. He's a lot of fun. He gave her all the money, right? And every woman is resentful of her because she's got the...
Gets to sit on her dad's dick.
I mean, obviously, I guess Ben would say, he'd say on Twitter, I guess just play it, but he would say he didn't really mean this.
Real man. But all the young Zoomers are hoping they could get a piece of it because daddy's worked it in. So, and everyone knows that the hottest chick is one whose mother has driven her crazy and whose dad has been great to her.
This is the second time he come on.
No, it's not. No, this is the first.
No.
Oh, well, this is the main clip.
This is him talking about Grace.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh. This is...
This is the trolls.
Sorry.
Get rid of the old bag.
Respect.
Wow.
Wow, that's literally all the votes. Oh shit.
What about Goizer?
What?
Can you not read that?
This my S says Ben top 5.
If you don't put him up, I'm gonna go on Big Tech stream and review Andrew Wilson's skit on.
What is he watching? Let me check what he's doing real quick. You know what? Okay, I'll let Ben on for a minute while I look at other stuff because I need to read. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
Disrespectful.
All
right, let's go through this, okay? Let's leave aside whether anything or not happened. Let's just say everything happened, right? So here is what it is.
If I did
the old bag gets old. I get the 15-year-old, hot, whatever you want to say, 7, 8 for me, 10, chick, to suck my dick happily, get rid of the old bag. She gets mad, takes the kids on her side.
It opened twice.
Right?
Shut up.
As like trolls herself into taking care of my kids. So me and my hot daughter can fuck with impunity because it's the state of Rhode Island. Go on YouTube. I could do whatever I want, and I'm the Mack Daddy. Isn't that the problem with you faggots? You resent it. How am I not the ultimate baller? An old man, I don't have to work out. I don't need money.
Base dad.
I got pussy whenever I want it. And I also convince this piece of ass that it's her fault.
All right. Okay.
Heard that? That is clear as a bell.
He called her a piece of ass.
Oh, shit.
That I convinced this piece of ass that it is her fault. And notice he plainly says, for people that have been questioning the timeline, he plainly says 15.
He does say 15. I know.
15.
Right. Why did he say that number? The number where it makes it illegal.
The consent is 16 in Rhode Island. So saying 15 is pretty weird.
I mean, if Ben's trying to protect himself, and I guess the answer would be like, who gives a shit, faggot? It's just I mean, here's Ben's response, by the way, on Twitter. This is out of context. It's clear my point is about
it's really out of context.
the point is the nature of the outrage at my supposed behavior is envy masquerading as moral concern. So we quoted you fully.
You're so
Ben.
jealous. I got away with it.
Right. So it's
That's
the idea.
Mack Daddy, you should bow down to me. I got away with it.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
aren't I the man? Look at what I pulled off.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something right quick though that Courtney had put in the chat that she might appreciate me putting in there. She said that, putting this out there. She said that she's never said that everything that Ben said was wrong about her family or her, which, that is true. And, from what I've seen, that is accurate, that some of the stuff he says about her family and her behavior is accurate, but not all.
Right. I mean, but going back, like to what even why we all started this was what you said, Winter. Right? Like, I convinced Grace it's all her fault. That this is her fault.
Yes, which if any for anybody that's ever and there's many people out there, and one particular that they might realize that I'm kind of trying to get them to hear this is that is questioned whether he is just doing this out of pure mental illness and he can't help himself and he doesn't know any better and that he's not really a monster and he's not really evil. The fact that he flat out says that, and I'm so glad he messed up and said it, is clear, makes it perfectly clear to everybody that he knows exactly what he's doing, and it's very, very calculated.
Right.
Very.
Okay. I just wanted to say, if we wanted to, there's like you could timestamps that we could take it to specific stuff Ben says if you wanted to.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I guess it's not that much. There's 107.40. I guess we could just watch it from here.
Ben cutting. Oh yeah, I put that one down.
If you're offended by me trying to give you advice on how to troll better, then you're essentially like, I don't care. Go troll. Go be the horrible person that you are and try to play out these patterns on someone else. But it ain't happening on me and my kids. And that's the hard truth. And you can say, well, I don't feel like that's very supportive. I don't fucking care. But if you want to have fun, make money, have a great life, have a close relationship with your kids, then you've got to learn some new patterns on how to relate to people. For example, you told your kids today that one of the big things you're contemplating right now is never contacting them again. That is not okay with me. You should never do that again.
That was because I understood the consequence of me not doing this.
No, it isn't. It's profane.
So, and then see how he like cuts her off and doesn't even let her explain.
Right. Essentially saying like she feels, I assume from what Ben has said to her, that like if you don't do what we want you to do, you shouldn't be allowed to be around your kids. So it's anyway. Yeah.
Okay.
And stupid. I understand that you could get yourself to that point, but let's get you out of that point. Let's get you out of that point. That's not okay to say to your kids. Ask people in chat. That's not okay to say to your kids. Oh, I'm at a crossroads. This is what your mature understanding is. I'm at a crossroads in my life, kids. On the one hand, I could change some patterns in my life. On the other hand, I could never see you again or contact you in any way.
Only because of the
Why
consequences.
don't you just say, Mommy's thinking about killing herself? Would that be okay to say? Yeah, I mean, might as well. That would actually be easier on them than what you propose. It's like total psychological, like the worst thing you can say to your kids.
But then it's because you have said that, like, if I don't do this, then I'm abusing everything.
No, I said to you today, you were going to do this. So lean into it. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. But if you need a kick in the ass, then I'll be happy to give it to you.
No, but you did say, like, at a certain point.
Hey, you know what? Fuck yourself. You know what you're doing now? You're doing all this fucking receipt shit that these people do. You're doing what the worst losers on the internet do. You secretly record everything I say to you.
Oh, okay. So the moment Courtney has some evidence, like when she played recording to Grace of Ben saying,
it bothered him
to go downstairs and chill out and watch Hormax, or essentially it bothered him. Oh, you're just like those losers who have receipts. You mean evidence? What's wrong with evidence?
Y'all do that all day.
You couldn't have evidence. Yeah, to prove that she's sane in what she's saying.
It's crazy to me.
I guess if you wanted to, if we can keep watching it, but there's also 124.40.
124.40. Oh wait, I just want to play a little bit longer.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Pulls the Catholic card.
And then you demand proof when there's one word that was missing. You are one of these people. That is what the devil does. Normal people say what they mean, and and people understand it in terms of hyperbole. I get that you can take the words of our Lord. You can do that. Go ahead, take a Bible out and tell him how he's wrong because he said you should pluck your eye out. Go ahead. Be that person who crucifies him for saying that. Go ahead. Do it. Be that person with your life. See how it goes for you.
Such a bizarre argument. Like, just making these false equivalencies.
Yeah.
Okay, you said 124.
I think 124.40. Let's try that. You can start it.
I don't doubt that you're saying, like, yeah, okay, I'm done with that. I don't doubt that. I'm not saying that means nothing. But it is weird that you all of a sudden want to skip to, how am I supposed to know when someone's taking the, people in this chat, they say, take the car keys, right? I'm not taking the car keys from you. I didn't call the police. It's just, what you do is you pump fake all this crap, and you don't do it. But you need to stop doing it. I'm not taking the car keys away from you. I'm not telling you can't go here, there, or anywhere else. Why isn't it up to you to make it happen? And then everyone will know what can happen. I can tell you what a best case scenario would be. But I mean, don't you think we need to kind of like, don't you think children who've been told like this morning that their mother is considering totally cutting off from them for their entire lives need a little bit of consistent, healthy behavior before, we make big arrangements?
I think
I'm not asking for big arrangements. I'm just going to ask like about the.
Why don't you say, instead of saying, hey, what's going on tomorrow? Why don't you say, I'd love to wake the kids up tomorrow. I know you've been very sick and Grace has been having a very hard time with things. Isn't that how people talk to each other in a situation like this?
I would love to wake the kids up tomorrow morning.
Okay, pause it here.
Go to the grocery store and clean up around here.
Oh, so the reason we kind of showed this stamp is that, right, Ben essentially says, don't you want to be around your kids again? Like, he's kind of dangling the idea that she could be back at the house, waking the kids up, going to the store, like this thing that she wants, which is to be a mom. He's dangling it, saying, all you have to do is ask me. All you have to do is ask.
You willingly have to come back. Yeah.
Just come on. Like, it's like he's
take care of the kids. That's it.
She wants to do it, but it's interesting. It's like he's broken her down all night, and now here's this little piece of hope that she's allowed to grab onto. You can see the way she reacts to it. That's all.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to unban Grace from my chat.
Oh,
but I realized.
Let me tell you, honey. You have to go to your Google and find it in your Google, because when you do it through YouTube, it'll ban it in your Google list too, and you have to go in there to get it out to undo it.
So go to Google.
One thing at a time.
Okay.
Because you say you would love to, but do you not think that you have to? At this point, the most important thing for you to do would be to kind of understand your situation better, make that known to people, and then act consistently based on that. We're talking about 4 minors under the age of 18. They don't deserve this treatment. I have to protect them. You're saying, well, can you tell me what's going on? I don't know. You tell us what's going on. I think it's understandable what's been going on, but I think you need to get some resolution on this. I can't subject them to another 5 years of this or 7 years before they all turn 18. There's no way I can subject them to this. It's got to be over. Okay. And I don't doubt that it could be.
Okay, so you're saying like you're not seeing like a real investment in this change, and you want some assurance that like tomorrow it's not going to be different. Or
you always turn everything into, this is your fundamental problem, Courtney. You're saying, hey, you want this from me. That is not how relationships work. Now that is something that goes way, way back with you, okay? And you need to understand that that is not how relationships work. If you want relationships like that, then you need to go away and try that with someone else, and you'll have the exact same result.
Just pause it. I mean,
here.
It's just, by the way, this is exhausting just to watch, because it's like the circular conversations, but what you can understand through it is just essentially him saying like, look, if you want to have what I could be getting it wrong, Amelia, but like if you want to like have choices, you got to do what anyway, you can't have choices. You need to do what I want you to do. Like if you want your kids again, if you want to be back in the house, you need, every day can't be a fight with you, aka
yeah.
You can't have an identity.
Means, but to me, it means like this, like Courtney is sacrificing whatever last bit of sanity, freedom, will.
That's what he wants, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think obviously I assume we'll do this for another video, but the video after this is called New Beginnings, and it starts the next day. And it's Courtney trying to clean the house, she like sweeps up, rakes up leaves. She does a bunch of stuff to really help everything. And what she gets out of it is a long conversation with Ben in person. And anyway, we can get there later, but I think what's interesting, like it seems like the norm, like the non-fighting is still really brutal. It's 8-hour conversations with Ben.
Right.
And so why wouldn't you start to lose your mind and go, this can't even be the norm. You know what I mean? This isn't okay for my mental health anyway. Look,
yes.
Grace is free.
Okay, let's see if there's any other timestamps that we want to.
I mean, we can. I mean, that's. I think it's okay. Yeah, there's 3206, but if are we gonna end this with Grace coming on, or what are we thinking? Or what do you want to do, Ava?
Grace, what do you want to say here?
Does she just want to be free to chat?
Yeah, you've been released from. You were never banned. Yeah, because I didn't unban.
What was it? That was like a timeout.
Interesting.
Who knows?
Okay, so she's saying it's interesting these streams are so heavily disciplined, almost like it's unhealthy and controlling.
Talking about Courtney is what she's saying?
I'm not exactly sure.
I think she's trying to say us, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, it's up to you guys what you want to do. If Grace wants to come up, I'm okay with it. I'm just one person. But if we feel like we don't need to do that, that's totally fine too. It's kind of up to you, Ava.
Oh God.
It could devolve. Yeah, it could devolve.
I'm fine with it if she wants to come up, but it's totally Ava's choice.
Okay. Do you guys want to?
I mean, we could say this is the end of the stream, maybe. And maybe as like a
Well, if you want to finish up what we're doing and make sure you get a nice round close to what what you wanted to do, and then have like people. This is totally up to you because it's your channel. If you want to have like her come up or other people come up and give their opinions on it, after you've came to the conclusion of where you want to put us, where you want to stop it, after this part of it, anyway.
I mean, I feel
okay.
Yeah, it's up to you, Ava, but I feel like it's kind of more the same. She's, I guess, allowed to stay the night, but if we did a part 2, I think it'd be fine to just take it to the next day. But it's up. If you want to watch more clips, totally fine with me.
5 more hours. So you can come on for like a couple minutes, but I do want to end this soon. I will just let Grace have like, what should we give her, like?
Well,
3 minutes like speech slot, maybe.
I think she should just come up like another person having a conversation. I don't know, but yeah, if you want to do it.
Well, I want her to be able to say what like she's been thinking throughout this.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a time limit on it. It's just if it goes too long, then you could say, okay, well, I'm wanting to put a close to it and blah blah blah.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't want it to devolve into one of these.
No, I think this is a good end spot. This could be the epilogue.
Okay.
If Grace ends up coming up. But for the people that like, what we saw, I feel like it ends with a long conversation with Ben, circular conversation, essentially Courtney getting a chance to stay the night without having to go to a homeless shelter. But whenever we do the next episode together with New Beginnings as the video from the next day, I know I've said this before, but I think it gives a great kind of window into Courtney feels happy and excited about what she was given a chance to stay over again, but then it all devolves. So anyway, we'll see it if we do this again.
Well, no, I don't think. As far as I can remember, I don't think she was just staying over. I think she was back staying there at that point.
Okay,
I think.
Right. Like, well, essentially that night. But maybe Grace can let us know. But that she was at least given a chance to stay. I think, and then she left not that soon after. I assume, like maybe a couple days later, a week later. But yeah. So are we just waiting for Grace?
I'm just waiting for her. Yeah.
Okay. Well, if she does, let's assume she's not going to come up. So if she doesn't come up,
only be allowed on a minute, and you wanted to. ZXV, what is up with you? We just explained.
Anyway,
I said I would give her either a 3-minute, like I was like, do I want to give her free time to speak uninterrupted, or maybe okay. Anyways, okay, I'll give her another minute.
Yeah, let's assume she's not going to come up. I'm sure she does. You know, she might not even be able to.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Wait, how do I scroll? Okay.
Hey, Queens.
Whoa!
Ava, do you consent to this, or is this against your wishes? I just want to make that clear before we begin.
I just added you onto this, so.
Okay. Well, I sometimes, no means yes, yes means no. I don't want to be accused of gaslighting you or manipulating you into bringing me on. Just want to make sure.
Okay.
Hi,
What would you
RD's
like to say?
wife.
Hi,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. You are so sweet and wholesome and beautiful and wonderful. I want to marry you. I will do anything for you. I would let you do anything to me. My DMs are always open. So I don't know how RD feels about it. I don't even know your name, but just want to put that out there. I'm
Her name's
available.
Amelia, but
Amelia. Yeah.
So, I would like to come up here to apologize for my abusive behavior towards my mother. I think it's shocking and horrendous, and I apologize for my behavior.
Okay.
Love bombing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried about that.
The sarcasm, Grace.
No, I think she. Well,
I'm telling you, she does not mean this. No, she doesn't.
Oh, I figured it out. I done figured out she doing that reverse psychology.
And I knew that as soon as I talked, she was going to start with my accent.
Reverse psychology. I'll make
So, well, okay, let's ask Grace.
Clarify. You're just mad because I said you sound like a fat woman in my Discord. Okay, I don't know what you look like. I just said it. Okay, don't be so.
Wait, hold on. Why do you think that you abused your mother?
I think it's clear that she's the victim of a malignant narcissist with an enabler, and she's been gaslit and abused. And I think, she makes like a lot of sense. And, I've been gaslit into enabling his abuse for years. And I also get raped and beaten by him. So like I've come to realize that I've been in the wrong here, and I want to apologize formally.
So this is like a typical thing Ben and Grace do of like just taking the opposite side and pretending that the sarcasm and exaggeration to try and minimize the reality of the situation.
Well, what do you think about like the water throwing stuff? Like what was the idea behind it? We don't know all the context.
Yeah.
Like, was that just to troll your mom? Is that what it was?
Well, have you seen her hair? I mean, she kind of needed a shower. It's just a little dousing.
Okay, so it was like to you, it was just like a prank. It was like Jackass.
All right, I think she needed some incentivization to wash her hair.
Okay.
Okay.
But it didn't seem like you mentioned that. It was. Well,
can each of the panel read a line of Ralph's poem, please? Have you seen Ethan Ralph's poem?
No. What was? I thought the poems got deleted from the Telegram.
No.
I saw it.
Did you see it? Yeah. It was like Dr. Seuss.
Dude, it was like middle school.
It was so
level.
bad. He sent me that and he was like, I want your honest opinion. I was like, that's, it's pretty bad. It sucks. And he was like, oh yeah, I guess it's not that good. And I was like, there's no way to candy coat it.
Anyways, though, so the throwing water, you think that was fine, and then the what about the?
No, I think
what
it was abuse. I think she should press criminal charges, in fact, for that.
Well, what about okay, the hair pulling thing, I guess. What about that? Was that because Joey was in the room? Did she need that? Was like a correction?
So what if Ralph wrote a poem that wasn't great? Let's get Courtney up here. You know what I mean? Like let's.
Well, so are you evading the question?
I don't think...
the turning of the head.
Yeah.
I mean, I've whipped my mother. She asked me to. I beat her with a belt. So I don't really think. I don't know.
So that was just normalized shit. Yeah.
She's free to press me with criminal charges for that if she feels.
Well, we're not saying. Well, let's be clear here. We're not saying anything about that. Nobody wants to do that.
No.
A simple. We're just simply asking.
What are we doing here? Let me just ask. Are we doing
that
is this
behavior...
a psychological analysis?
Yeah. So do you think that behavior
what
was
qualifications
acceptable?
Ava, let me ask you a question.
I'm only Grace. I'm only gonna let you be on here if you answer this.
Ava,
so
oh, is she muted?
Is it acceptable? Yeah, I muted her. Is it acceptable to grab your mom's head like that and whip her around the chair like that? Was that acceptable? Was that okay behavior? Yes or no?
No, it was her. It was really very bad.
Why?
Because it's physical abuse.
So you're like saying what we want to hear.
Ava, weren't you the one who smashed a water bottle over your dad's head because he wouldn't give you alcohol? I'm not sure you're really the one to be criticizing other people for their parent relationships.
So I admit
maybe that's not your wheelhouse, you know.
Okay. So that is
like
abusive.
Ava, I don't think you realize how StreamYard works. I can unmute myself. You can just ask me to be.
Okay. So that was abusive. And it was, yeah, exactly. And it was.
But we're not talking
that was
about
back
you.
when I was in my addiction and I was drunk. And
I've done horrible stuff when I was in it. I've stolen.
Exactly. And I'm sober now, and I've apologized for that action. And I genuinely do believe that it was one of the lowest moments of my life. That's why I explained it's not cowardly. I am literally just letting myself speak and explain myself because she just brought up something that I told her in confidence. It was one of the lowest moments of my life back when I thought that we were friends. And yeah, so, but I just want to say I genuinely admit, yeah, that was a horrible thing to do.
Okay,
go ahead.
You didn't tell me that in confidence. Did you tell me not to tell anybody else? Liar?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
No. You didn't. You were telling me about your relationship with your parents, and you said one time I did this. You didn't tell me not to tell anybody else. If you had, I would have said, I don't want to hear your dirty little secrets. Not interested.
Okay, Grace.
So you admit you lied?
No.
Wait, I feel like this is all becoming this own up.
Exactly. This is exactly what I said was going to happen. It's just going to derail.
Gaslighting. Ava, you're gaslighting me. Manipulation, abuse.
Okay,
I'm
so
calling the police.
Wait, can we just talk about this? So to Grace, we're all pussies. We're all faggots that are just like, you know.
I didn't say that.
No, we're all.
Who said anything about being a pussy?
We're all wringing our hands.
We're all about victims.
Yeah. Well, we're all.
You guys are like really self-deprecating here. I didn't say that.
We're all hand wringing over this bullshit, but I guess.
Why you would say something like that?
How do you feel about? How about this? Do you feel like the everyday life of that
Andrew unbanned me from his chat. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. Do you feel like it was healthy that living that way every day? Is that how every day still is, or it's like you can't do anything right? Do you feel normal? Like, do you feel mentally like okay?
I'm she's reading the comments. Mentally fine. No, okay. I'm looking at you. I my camera's up here. RD. I am sane.
Yeah.
100. Actually, no. I am a little bit crazy, genuinely. I don't like have all of my mental faculty. When I get in a certain place, I like lose touch with reality. But apart from that, yeah, I would say I'm pretty healthy.
I mean,
all the shit talking and trolling online is one thing, but what you did to your mother is vile.
well, do you remember that day?
You
Okay,
guys
how
take
about
these
this?
chats seriously?
Do you remember that day? Like, wasn't that was the day after? Give context. We don't know all the context. What was going on in the video we just watched? Like,
Why
what
don't you
had
give me
happened?
some context for why you have a neck beard?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just like an ugly fat loser. Whatever. I'm happy. I'm okay.
Can you? So, is there going to be? Any,
you're not hurting my feelings. I don't give a fuck.
Is there going to be any like?
Seems like you give
true engagement,
No.
or are you just here to?
I'm rizzing your wife up right now, and you don't even realize. Look, she's laughing at my jokes. She's laughing.
I'm laughing because he is like, oh yeah, right. Like, you know, I like this beard too. So
you can cope all you want, sweetie.
She loves
I
the
can
beard.
See it in your eyes.
I mean, what Grace wants me to do is like defend the relationship I have or how good it is. It's all personal. We have a great relationship. We've been
totally.
but like it's fine to say mean shit, whatever. But the question that I have, I mean, the reason you're up here is we looked at this video. It's kind of weird that you're up, right? We just talked about you. It's kind of strange.
Why would it be weird?
Well, does it feel weird for you? It's like then
you're making it a little bit weird, but not really.
Okay. Well,
what is this like? How did you feel when? I mean, like, what are you? None of you guys are qualified.
We're trying to have a real conversation.
I'm not qualified at all. No, I'm just some fucking dude watching a video.
Yeah.
And being.
What is this moral outrage?
I don't know if I'm morally outraged.
No.
It seemed.
How did I feel? Yeah, it feels a little bit crazy to have a mother who's sexually obsessed with you and thinks that you're cheating on her with your father. It feels a little crazy, yeah.
Okay, so that day, the day, it was the night of the divorce the divorce court that didn't happen. Like,
there have been a lot of divorce court.
Okay, I think that was what.
Courts. It's not divorce court; it's family court. But whatever. Right, yeah, I get what you're saying.
So had she hadn't been living there, right? Before that, maybe you could. Is it blur together?
I don't know. I'm not sure which part you're referring to.
So just like in the context of the video, it was like March 14th, I think, was when that video was. Like, had she not been living there for a while? You know.
She was in the house at the time of the video you guys were showing.
Right. So. Oh, I think I thought that maybe she had been gone for most of February and she'd just come back.
Seraphim Goose! Oh my god, guys, this is such a throwback. Do you guys know who Seraphim Goose is?
So this is like the meta.
Okay. He was one of the first guys. He was one of my first simps, actually. He used to come on my stream, especially on Feminine Fridays that I did with my mom. And he was kind of like this hot guy who like went to the middle of the park and like drank a full bottle of wine, and he was just like kind of like yelling at me the whole time, which was kind of cool. But then my mom said she wanted to suck his dick or something, and he left and never came back. So nice to see you, Seraphim. Sorry.
So so what?
My mom tends to be a little bit sexually aggressive with my friends. It's weird.
Okay, so but what was
really?
Okay, but what
That's
was
interesting?
What was that day about? Like, what's your point of view of that video of what you saw? I mean, you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. Like, what were you doing when you wouldn't let her just like wouldn't leave her alone, throwing the water on her and stuff? Like, why did you have to do that? Did your dad tell you to?
No. I believe what was going on was me and my dad and her had a conversation, and it was something like it just wasn't resolved, and she was just like, I have to go away now. So I went downstairs and I was like, so are we gonna figure out where you're living or what the situation is or what? And she just was like out of it. So, you know, I think there's obviously, I don't know, my mother has a problem of avoiding her issues, which is like just ludicrous. She had this concept that I appeared in 2 streams and Grace was my simp. Should we bring the clip up? Should we bring it up? Should we bring it up?
No,
Here, I'll
let's
go
not.
back.
That can be your stream. Like,
Yeah.
I think, I guess, so the way that you see it is that your mom was being irrational and you were trying to get the conversation to be back to where it needed to be, to get some resolution. That's your kind of point of view of what that was. I think when other people see the conversation, it feels like she's kind of trying to just be like left alone. And she plays a recording of your dad saying, go downstairs and like do whatever, drink. I think even says that. You even say, oh.
Yeah, it was a confusing time, but essentially what was going on was there was this sort of massive issue like about whether my parents were married or like what the situation was, and instead of like just dealing with it maturely, my mom would freak out during these conversations, and then sort of what she essentially wanted to do was avoid the issue altogether and sort of have this sort of, you know, this sort of infantilized, like just sitting in her room watching TV and eating Taco Bell and just sort of like that's what she wanted to do every day. She didn't want to deal with it, and that's like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're in a crisis in your family, why wouldn't you want to deal with it?
Right, but then the conversations with your dad end up being like kind of hard to decipher. There isn't like, okay, therefore you need to do this, and then everything. They're so circular. Maybe you disagree.
Is RD okay? You glitched out. Sorry, maybe I glitched out.
Oh, just the conversations that end up being had with your dad just feel circular. They feel confusing. Maybe because we don't have all the context. But
yeah, well, you know, essentially it got down to the point where, essentially my dad was saying like, look, I think you have massive immaturity issues that have clearly been demonstrated by the fact that like you don't want to talk about anything, you're avoidant, you like lash out, you know, she used to do this thing where she would like take a ceramic bowl and like hold it over her head, and she'd be like, I'll smash it if you want me to. And it was just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
And I think he was just saying like, you have trauma from your childhood that you should deal with, and maybe we can just be friends and co-parent or whatever. And she just was like driven crazy by anger and envy and like her lack of maturity. She just wanted out. She wanted a quick resolution.
Right. So to her point of view would be that she felt abused. She felt like every day was like talking to her dad for 8 hours and she didn't, sounds like she didn't like her existence in that with your dad, right? I mean, how, like, there's a video
yes. No, she didn't like it, but the problem was when we would have these conversations, she wasn't directed towards like resolution. She just kind of wanted to lash out emotionally, and then she would almost every conversation she'd get more and more irrational, and at a certain point, like without it getting personal, you just take a step back and you just go like, why are you participating in these conversations if you take everything so personally? Like, why wouldn't you just want to figure out what the situation is and then move on from there?
If she was like lashing out emotionally and like the same thing kept happening over and over again, why did you guys keep trying to talk to her and keep pushing it?
That is a good question. I think it was because we kind of believed that she would come around, and but I mean, essentially. Yeah. Yes, sweetie.
I was just gonna ask
Mommy.
What was like the resolution that you wanted from her exactly?
I wanted her to what I would say I wanted from her was for her to say like, look, yeah, I mean, my relationship with your father is it's not a marriage. I think we both like maybe tried our best, but like I'm not capable of being a wife. My mothering of you guys was ludicrous. It was a constant oscillation between rage and then withdrawal because she felt bad about being angry. And maybe we can move on and I can co-parent with your father, but it's not this like crazy intensity anymore. And we can move on and do other things with our life. That's what I would have liked her to say. But
like, you believe that she was unfit to be that mother to your siblings?
Was she unfit? Yeah. I mean, there are lots of examples. It's just like there's a basic fundamental immaturity. I mean, even like yesterday, my brother Tom, he tells me this story. He's like, he goes, my sister Maggie, she's 14. She's looking for babysitting jobs. So she's in the car with him and my mom. And she goes, "Hey, Mom, do you have any friends that you know that maybe could have kids that I could babysit for them?" And then she goes, "Oh," and then Maggie goes, "Well, let me rephrase that. Do you have any real friends?" And my mom was like, "You know what the answer to that question is." Because she doesn't have friends in real life. Her friends are on Discord. Which is just like, it's just one of many, many stories where my mother takes it
Grace.
too
Do you
personally.
have friends in real life?
Do I have friends in real life? Yeah.
Are they on Discord too? I mean, well, but it's not really the point, I guess. But
yeah,
she doesn't have friends, so she's not an unfit mother. Is that right?
She's an unfit mother.
No, the point isn't about the friends, although I do think it is crazy to have your only social circle online when you're 50 years old in a Discord server. But it's not about that. The point is that she took this, like, you know, this sarcastic statement from my 14-year-old sister personally and got angry at her. So it's like this massive lack of immaturity. It's just like my little sister is leaps and bounds ahead of her in immaturity. She still hasn't put anything together. I asked her yesterday. I was on the phone with her. She goes, "Oh, your father has been abusive to me." I realized that when I took a break and I was in the car for 3 months, not abandoning you guys. And I was like, "Okay, so when did the abuse start?" And she goes, "I haven't figured that out yet, but he's abusive, trust me." And then I said, "Okay, so he's abusive, he's mentally ill, although you don't know what the mental illness is. You don't even have a concept of it." And I said to her, "So what could he do that would like make things better?" And I went through a couple of things that maybe he could do. And she said, "No, any of those would be abusive." And I said, "So he can't do anything that wouldn't be abusive?" And she said, "Yes." And clearly that's an immature way to look at other people. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. My mother is ludicrous.
Well, I mean, to me, something is ludicrous, like an example of something being ludicrous, where your mom's trying to chill out downstairs, then you throw water on her while you're streaming, YouTube to a bunch of people, and then you don't want her to leave. Then she leaves. Then you say, "Hey, we're gonna call the cops on you," and say the car stolen. So she comes back, and then instead of even being then you say, "I don't actually want to talk to you. I want you to go on the computer to talk to chatters." Like, to me, none of those things kind of make sense, and then I don't know, that doesn't seem like normal, healthy.
Well, here's an example of her immaturity, right? She said that, me streaming is unhealthy for me, and yet she's here in chat arguing with me through chat. She won't even come on the stream, but she'll talk on Discord about me.
Her to.
Oh, I forced her to chat. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom, for forcing you to chat. If you withdraw your consent, I formally withdraw my forcing of
culture in your guys' family.
I forced her to have Discord calls for 8 hours while she's going to the beach with my siblings. That I forced her to do that.
I mean, Grace, but you're
probably right. I probably do force her. It's like it's part of the brainwashing, right? It's like gaslighting.
But I mean, your best friend Lalo is a Discord YouTube guy, right? Would you call him your best? I mean, I'm not like you. All your friends are
my
online
gay
too.
best friend, please.
Right.
Use the accurate term. I asked her, why don't you have her come on? Why don't you? I don't understand. Why doesn't she come on? I asked her for help. I said, should I see a therapist? I asked her for help. I said, should I see a therapist? What do you think? She goes, I think what you should do is go on Discord. There's a lot of people on there who care about you. And I said, well, who do you talk to on Discord? And she said, I'm not telling you that. That's secret. This is a serious person at age 51. I mean, come on.
Well, she doesn't feel like she can trust you, right? That makes sense. She doesn't feel
it's
like
not
she
about
can
that. She has a secret group of Discord friends as a 51-year-old mother of 6.
I mean,
that she won't. That it's her recommendation for me to improve my mental health is to go on Discord and talk to people. You realize, like, the caliber of people. I love my server to death, but I mean, they're all mentally ill, obviously.
Okay. Well, Grace, you're smart. Grace, you're smart. You know what everyone's going to say. They're going to say to leave your dad and to take the money and start your own life. You already know that's what everyone's going to say. You were saying maybe you wanted to go to a therapist. Maybe.
I do believe that she should have encouraged you to go to a therapist. I agree with that.
For what?
Mm-hmm. Well, I suggested, like, maybe I need to talk to other people, and she said, yeah, you should go on Discord. It's just like, it's clearly not a mature. She doesn't give a fuck about me is the reality. She doesn't give a fuck about me. You know the good ones, Grace. That was my point. The good ones.
Okay, I think we're getting lost.
You know
in
the
weeds,
good
though.
ones?
Yeah. Wait,
So
hold on.
There's an elite caliber of Discord people who are the good ones. Do you hear yourself?
Wait. What was it that you said earlier, RD, of like
Well, that everyone's gonna say what everyone's gonna say that we should leave.
The good ones? You mean the guy who sexted you
Wait,
to
hold on.
My mother's best friends with a guy who sexted her to make fun of her to his group of friends, who also got a mentally retarded man to eat his own shit on camera. That's one of her best friends who's one of the good ones.
Okay, but we're getting lost in the weeds. Okay.
Yeah.
I think the real.
Oh, and now we're getting lost in the weeds.
Well, because the answer, I think what your mom probably wants
is that mature.
Well,
is that mature?
Wait. Let him talk.
Is somebody who would be best friends with somebody like that online somebody who's capable
Your
of being
best
a
friend is
mature
Lalo.
mother?
Your best friend is Lalo, who's is a goofy guy too. Wait.
Okay. What do you want to ask her?
Oh, I was just gonna say I think that she knows the answer. What her mom's really trying to say is that people online that are good would tell her to get away from her dad. So you can bring that.
Anybody who interrupts, I'm gonna take you off, but you are allowed to come back on and have your spot now. Go ahead.
Well, okay, I'm just saying,
Yes, mommy.
I don't know. I think your mom probably is trying to say the good people in Discord would tell you to maybe get away from your dad, but you already know that anyway. But it sounds like you maybe, if you're asking for therapy, you're having issues right now.
I really think she should come on to defend herself. I would appreciate if she came on. I would rather have this conversation with her. If she's going to be in chat already, it's not like she's not here.
Well, she might. We don't know. I assume Ava will tell us if she's back.
Yeah. I don't know why you would want to talk to me in chat, but not on stream when everybody here is supportive of her. So I don't see what.
Okay, back to the video, Grace. Do you feel like there was an element of you kind of trying to say, like, you can't, when you said you shouldn't tell Joey when to go to bed, that you were kind of trying to tell her that, like, she wasn't a parent anymore, like these kids aren't yours? Or is that looking too into it? You were like saying.
No, I was just begging her to act like a mother. In retrospect, it was ludicrous. I should have seen that clearly she was unfit. But I think she's okay on a certain level to take care of them, but emotionally it's just she used to go into my sister's room late at night when she went on Hormaxer's show. Like, she dressed herself up in a bikini and saran wrap, and she went into my sister's room to get glitter, and my sister was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she's like, "Don't worry about it."
But didn't
I don't know, like, you really think that's somebody who's like mentally all there?
I could be wrong, but didn't your dad like push her and Hormaxer to do content together? No.
What does that mean? Did he suggest it? Yes. Did he put a gun to her head? No. She came up with that on her own. That was her own idea. I mean,
okay, so
everything. It's essentially immature to see relationships as based on power, and her relationship with me is based on power. She's playing a power game right now. I'll talk to you in chat, but I won't talk to you on stream because you'll manipulate me if I go on stream.
Well,
won't talk to you face to face publicly, but I'll have long
conversations. Are you not playing a power game by interrupting and cutting everybody off?
Well, I mean,
you just interrupted me and cut me off, princess.
Yeah, because nobody's been able to get a word in edgewise.
I mean,
I've been talking with RD. That's not true.
Let RD
so
go.
Why do you have to be such a cunt? I don't get it.
Because you just cut him off like 4 times. Rewind. Okay, RD, go ahead.
He's not complaining, but I think he's man enough to stick up for himself.
Grace,
I know you might not see it that way. But...
She just did it again. Can you let him go?
I think I don't know. We're in a weird. This is a surreal situation, right? Grace is up here, and we analyzed a surreal, crazy video.
Did you just say analyzed?
Oh, maybe I did. I don't know.
You said analyzed.
Damn, I'm fucked.
Ava does stream BDSM. RD and his wife do BDSM, and the other person on here won't cam up. I mean, I don't think she has much to be afraid of. They're all on her side.
I mean, I feel like this is pretty chill,
and now
right?
she's disappeared from chat because it's a power game. It's immature, essentially, to see your relationship with your daughter as a power game, but she doesn't give a fuck about me. She just doesn't give a fuck about me.
Okay.
That's not true at all. from the video that we watched.
I mean, all I can say is I think the video that we watched, to me, it felt like there was nothing that she could do to win the conversation. She would say like, okay, what do you want? What do you want from me to say, Ben? And he'd say like,
don't you see how that's an immature way to approach a conversation, to say, what do you want from me? Wouldn't you say how you're feeling honestly and try to get to a resolution with somebody?
I mean, I don't know.
Did she not say, well,
I think
so what would you, like, how do you think she was feeling?
How do I think she was feeling? I don't think it really matters how she was feeling. I think what matters is what the actual, like, long-term plan was on her part, and I think she was just spiraling. She felt like she no longer had the power. She felt like she had been exposed and abused by my dad pointing out that she wasn't really a capable mother or wife, but he was always trying to provide a solution for her and for our family, to say like, okay, well, things happen, people make mistakes, people commit to things that they aren't necessarily ready for because they have a fantasy about themselves or they want something really badly to happen. But staying in a lie about that is not helpful to anyone in this situation.
It just seems like the way to
if you sign up, yeah.
It just seems like the way to deal with that isn't to get your daughter to, by proxy, kind of troll your mom and not let her leave, then force her to do a random chat with Hormaxer.
Nobody forced her to do a random chat. You always put things in terms of that. Nobody forced her to. She came up with that herself. But wait, my mom said, Ben says I'm all about power, but in actuality, he is. Facts. My dad has never turned me away. He's never not responded to my texts. He's never ghosted me. He's never left me on red. He has never said, I won't talk to you if you want to talk. I was on the phone with my mother, I think 2 nights ago, maybe last night, and I started crying, and she said, oh, I get it. I get what you're doing here. You're trying to make me feel bad. And she hung up on me. So I don't really see how that's him abusing power. He's never abused power with me. He's never, ever used the silent treatment on me. He has always been completely and 100% open if I need help. You have not.
Well, do you feel like you liked what your dad said, by the way, on Lalo's stream? Was that like healthy?
Oh, it was hilarious, yeah.
He was based, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't see how it doesn't work.
We don't
Either
have to
way.
Oh, wait, the slapping.
Oh, the abuse. Oh, I look so fat.
I think
your dad has done that.
Call the police.
Well, no, I'm just saying your mom's done. Oh shit, your mom's done. Or you say your dad's been there for you in XYZ ways, but then he's also done that and is toxic in his own ways too. Can you admit any flaws that he might have?
No,
of course my dad's not perfect.
As a parent towards you.
Yeah, he's not perfect, but the context of that was that I was acting crazier and crazier and crazier, and he was. I do this thing where I sort of mentally withdraw, and then I start acting in ways that are bizarre. And he was like, "What the fuck's going on?" Did he get a little wound up? Yes, but actually, it shows that he cares about me. That he's actually invested enough to say, like, "Hello, wake up."
Okay, so
most people don't have anybody in their life who would care enough about them to, give them a little physical push once in a while and say like, "Hello, wake up."
I think
ain't nobody slapping Ava and saying like, "Stop being a hoe." They're just going like, "Well, I don't care enough about you."
Okay, but I think really ultimately in the end, you and your mom want different things. You like the relationship you have with your dad and all the stuff that comes along with it, and your mom didn't. I know you're reading your mom's comment. You like stripping in the woods for your dad.
I understood it as humiliation. Yes, I understood.
Okay,
it.
So you're okay with that, and your mom wasn't. In the video I feel like we watched, was your mom fighting against it, saying, "I don't like the way you're treating me," and it's like these two things just don't work, and you're caught in the middle. No wonder.
Well, if she didn't like the way he was treating her, then why didn't she just leave? I mean, it works for me.
Did.
It works for me. I've got a great dad who obviously loves me and cares about me deeply, and everybody envies it and is constantly talking about us. How does it not work for me?
Okay,
obviously,
so right,
he cares
it works
about
for
me.
you.
Obviously, I'm well loved. Obviously,
wait, do you think people?
Problems. her.
And you think people envy it?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, well, so that's fine. If one thing that's as interesting is like one time when I talked
Ava,
to you,
don't you wish your dad cared a little bit more about you?
Here, let's let
Maybe
RD
then
go.
you wouldn't be an alcoholic slut.
Hey, I'm a fat drug addict. Well, I haven't,
Yeah.
we're all
people in
fucked.
recovery.
Well,
here.
RD, okay, go ahead. What were you saying? What doesn't she
How
like?
is she-
What you're saying she doesn't like that relationship?
Well, that's
what,
something
what
I remember.
What would you say she doesn't like?
I remember having a conversation with you once where I was like early on saying like your mom's gonna do her fucking thing, you're gonna do your own thing, and you're never gonna be able to like enmesh that, right? It's just, and I remember you being like, oh, whatever, let's talk to other people about it. Like that's what people say to you all the time. I know you hate it. But, like
I mean, you want to talk about enmeshment? I think me and my father have very different personalities. Yes, we live together and we stream together sometimes, but I've done my own thing. Like when I did my Everybody Should Rope stream, I think that's very distinct from my father. I'm not worried about it at all.
okay,
I've always been very independent in my own way. It's not even close. It's just not even close to somebody who's like enmeshed in somebody. If you want to say that, is that what you're saying she doesn't like about him? That has a dominant personality?
yeah, maybe she just didn't like it. Like we can argue about all the finer points, and you're not going to agree. But Courtney didn't like the way she was being treated, in her opinion, and she's leaving that. And
well, I really think my mother should come up and say what she's saying. I don't think it's I think it's completely autistic to A-log from chat. Go ahead and come up and say what you're saying to my face. Don't hide in chat. You're a grown woman. I'm a grown woman. We're not victims here. Nobody's a victim. You want to be public and make accusations? Come on up and say it to my face. You won't say something to your own daughter's face, but you'll have endless private conversations with me. Doesn't that seem a little bit abusive? Maybe a little bit controlling?
Why? Wait, because she only talks to you in private and not on a live stream? Maybe that's how it was.
She is talking to me on a live stream. She's just talking from chat.
Right. Yeah. But I think ultimately, like, you have decided your life is going to be you living with your dad and for the near future.
Wait. I'm sorry, ID. I wanted to address a point you made. You said maybe she doesn't like that he has a dominant personality. My mother worships Gordon Ramsay. She watches all of his content, all of his shows. He is a man who's extremely insulting, dominating, and basically like an overall asshole to other people, right? She fucking worships the man. She loves men with dominant personalities.
Okay, well, it didn't work. Like,
okay, well then that's not the reason though. That doesn't make sense as a reason.
Wait, see, now you won't let it go. You won't let her just fucking go. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work.
No, what are you talking about? I'm saying you said she didn't like the relationship. I'm saying it's not that she didn't like the relationship, it didn't work for her. She's a fundamentally immature person who couldn't handle being married to any man, let alone my father.
Okay, so
and I've tried to be understanding about it, but there's nothing really to be angry at. It's just she's a ludicrous person who signed up for something she couldn't handle, and then instead of being honest about the fact that she couldn't handle it, she's just coping and being more and more ludicrous and coming up with incidents to go to the police about. It's all very white trash.
Okay, but see, that's your opinion, but like in the end, she's not going to get back with your dad, and you're going to stay with your dad in the house, and that's that, right? Does that upset you that like you can't get them to come back around? Like, what do you want from your mom?
It used to, I've been asking myself that question. Mom, can you say in chat if that's true what I said about Gordon Ramsay, by the way, or are you just going to keep coping? Just say it in chat if that's true, that you worship dominant men, extremely dominant to the point where it's kind of trashy, like it's crass. They're being
answer the question.
But they're subs. Let's get into BDSM thing. They're subs that love doms, but maybe they don't like that dom. Your mom didn't like the dom that was your father.
Sure, but it wasn't because he was a dom.
What were we gonna say?
It wasn't because she was a dom. He was a dom.
I was just saying it's like the demands that Ben's making. Like
she didn't like them.
Yeah.
I don't think it's particularly the demands that my father's making. It's just the demands of a wife. A wife has duties to a husband, and a mother has duties to her children that she was just clearly unable to fill. And nobody wanted to be hard on her.
So you think that every relationship has the same like demands and criteria? You don't think that?
How did I say that?
Well, you say that you think, you just said in every relationship, like there are certain, what is it that you like?
Certain criteria.
Certain criteria.
Obligations. Yeah, every relationship has certain obligations. Sure.
What do you think that the father's obligations are?
A father's obligations are to create by creating the life within the woman.
Okay.
A husband's obligations are to provide, protect, and create.
Also, I was gonna say, like, the reason that the House of Wayward Hoes never has worked out is because you guys don't want to set down the like sub rules, right? Like, I remember you once were disgusted with me saying that. Like, if you want subs to come to your house, the House of Wayward Hoes, like, you have to give it to, you know, Ashley, I don't know, whoever. Like, here's
there weren't
what's gonna
any
happen.
agreements.
Exact agreement.
There's only one real set of rules for a sub, which is that you listen to the dom. That's the only rule, and none of them wanted to do it.
That's
Ava
not true.
didn't want to do it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You can.
No, it's not. Have you ever done BDSM, Grace?
I think so.
The House of Wayward Hoes is not a sex BDSM excursion. I know that's what you might have thought it was, Ava, because
dominant,
you're a pervert. But
is it a man dominating? Well, that's what we're talking about. Is it?
If you want to be reformed so that you're more submissive to a man, there's only one rule, which is listen to the man who's reforming you. Listen to what he tells you to do. If he tells you to go outside and walk around in a circle for 5 minutes, do it.
What if he tells you bend over?
I don't know what you're talking about in a on stream. If you submit yourself to a reformation program and a man tells you to do that, well, what's the situation?
Okay, look, but that's the thing.
Do I think women should listen to men in every situation? No, of course not.
Okay,
not if they're telling them to do something that goes against their conscience.
Right, because
but like, what about Ben's demands? Like, what?
Wait, Ava, have you ever done BDSM play?
I'm not going to talk about that on stream.
Okay,
you just asked me if I had done BDSM play.
You don't have to talk
and you
about
said you don't have to talk about it either.
But the point that I was trying to, the point that I wanted to make,
you don't think that seems a little hypocritical?
No.
Whatever, we're in the weeds again. The only thing that really matters is what your dad, I think, doesn't want is to find a sub who's just like down for anything. There's subs like that. There's like they're like
I don't know what you mean, sub in the sense of sexual or like literally
no,
personal?
like submissive.
That would be down for whatever. I think obviously.
Actually, I think if I was going to talk about what kind of a woman my dad would like, I would think it would be somebody with a who is like at the core submissive, but has a personality of her own and
like
is very charming and
own.
vivacious. Yeah, like preferably
somebody who's rebellious. He said that himself.
Yeah, but at the core, you have a little bit of teasing is, of course, I would say that's attractive in a partner, but if it's gonna be like just pure rebellion, that's not attractive.
So somebody more that like pretends that they're not really into it, or they don't really like want to do what you want to do,
but they'll get broken.
But in the end, like they would do it.
So that's like,
I mean, is negging a turn off? No, but like if all you do is say like you suck, it's like there has to be something else there as well. That's obvious. All men like that in a woman. My dad appreciates competent women. He's like, if he goes to like some Portuguese restaurant and a woman does a great job making the woman's in the kitchen doing a great job making the meal, and she brings it to him and she's a great waitress or whatever. He's always like, wow, she's great. She's just amazing. Like, that's great. He's not like, oh, she should shut up and listen to her husband.
That's kind of like what Courtney should have been in a way.
I mean, I don't think if you say should have been, like, it wasn't possible. Nobody yes, there was some confusion because for a while he was saying like, you signed up to do something
that like then nobody would do that then. So it's kind of, isn't it that like a...
No, I'm saying my mother has serious childhood trauma and lack of maturity and just competency issues. So that's not true of every woman.
Somebody would.
She wouldn't do it, but somebody else would, is what she said. Like, Courtney wouldn't do it, but someone else would, you think?
Possibly.
Seems like it's hard to find that
Then why not go after those kinds of women? Like women who really actually
he
like
does,
probably
I mean,
might
I don't think his why doesn't my dad go, oh, why did, like, why, you're kind of saying, like, why did he find my mom attractive? Yeah, he had issues with sort of women rejecting him. His mother rejected him, and he wanted to figure out why a woman would sort of be angry at him, because he had been experiencing a lot of hostility from his mother, and he's kind of like, what is it? Is it a problem with me? Is it, you know, people tend to be attracted to people who have the same problems as their parents did towards them. But eventually he got over that sort of self-esteem issue. And then he, you know, kind of said to her, like, you know, she was extremely frigid. I mean, there was a lot of things that just were like not there. She was emotionally unresponsive.
Okay, but how about?
And I think he eventually was like, "So what's going on here? Like, do you want to be in this relationship? Is this the relationship we think it is?
Wait,
or
we know
maybe
this.
we
Wait,
should
we
just
know
be
this.
friends?"
We've heard. Wait, yeah.
So we know that she didn't like where the relationship went. She felt also, can you see, like, did you enjoy like the 8-hour conversations? That's what I'm curious about. Like your dad would talk to the family for hours
Did I
and hours and
enjoy
hours.
them? I wouldn't. I mean, framing it as my dad would talk to the family, it was a group effort. My mother and my father would talk, and eventually I would talk with them, and I wanted to discuss the things they were talking about. I think characterizing it always as somebody has to be the victim.
Okay,
It's
no,
not
no,
really
not even the
fair to
victim.
the family. Like,
I'm just thinking of like what what a father can be, and it's like if your dad's always upstairs talking for hours and hours, and you're kind of like downstairs. Did that ever just get annoying?
Did you ever find resolution?
Yeah, it did. It did. I didn't, you know, when they used to talk, I think essentially the problem was when I saw them together when they weren't talking. There was obviously like they weren't close. They weren't sort of there were like massive like problems. They weren't friends, it seemed to me, even when I was a kid. So I understand in retrospect why you would need to kind of talk about things to figure out what the hell's going on. Like, you can't just say, "Oh, well, whatever, let's just move on," and the relationship doesn't make sense. When I was sort of like, when I started saying, like, "Can I be a part of these conversations? Like, what the hell's going on here?"
So when that was,
I understand how it goes in circles, because my mother is reasonable on a certain level, but she would just start emotionally freaking out, sort of start spiraling mentally, which I've also experienced. And then at the end of it, the problem was once she kind of got into this spiral, she just wanted to kind of get out of it. She just wanted to say, like, "Can we just end this and I'll go watch TV?" She didn't want to say, like, she never wanted to figure out what the resolution is. Like, marriage, not marriage, together, not living together, kids, what's the deal? She never wanted to get to that point. She didn't want to face the reality. She just wanted to avoid. She would just freak out and then kind of say, like, I need to get out of this situation.
But it seems to me like she's in the videos, at least we watch, and we could go through more of them. She's trying to like interact with your dad. I mean, the video from the next day, it's called New Beginnings. If you want to watch it, you were there. She sits for hours. She does housework for like multi hours, and then sits with you and your dad for 3 hours, I think. And to me, it seems like, as an outsider, the conversation your dad is having is circular, and it seems like your mom's really trying. But maybe that was just a one-time thing.
Yeah, that's sort of the problem, is like it seems like she's really trying, but it doesn't make sense if it's if you're looking at it long term. Okay, doing a couple hours of housework and then really putting all of your effort into a conversation doesn't make sense. It's not mature. What you would do is maybe you would say, like, well, because 3 hours of like minor physical labor, there was a massive problem. There was a crisis, and it's not going to be solved by sort of like very superficial shows of, I'm not saying what she did was wrong, but it's just like, it's not correct to the situation.
Wait, I have a question.
Somebody's bombing your house. You don't start doing
What
the
do
dishes
you-
and just say, like, "I hope it stops." You say, like, "I need to deal with the situation."
Okay, I see why you have that opinion then with that. But so do you think that it's not acceptable for somebody, like, let's say you're having like a very emotional conversation, like you said, she gets emotional in the conversations, like, is it okay to take space, or to, like, you know, take some time to yourself to think through things and process, and then come back and re-engage? Like, is it okay to take a break?
Of course it is, but the problem was that she never really wanted to re-engage. She wanted to avoid it altogether. And I think that was sort of her problem. I think when I started saying, like, can I be a part of this? Can I help? Like, can I figure out what's going on here? Because I don't get it either. I was emotionally warm to my dad. I was like, I don't really get what's going on here. Like, emotionally and physically, I was warm to him. I was sort of like, I would say normal, and she was just sort of acting autistic. And I think that freaked her out. But on a certain level, I remember once we were having a conversation in my in my dad's room. And it was one of these conversations, right? And then eventually she said, like, I can't do this anymore. And I continued having a conversation with him. And I thought she would be like massively upset and crying and sort of like, but I went downstairs to her room and she was just sitting there watching TV and eating, like, not a care in the world. And I was like, how can you, like, I understand taking a break, but sort of like, how can you just be perfectly calm? And it seemed to me like what she kind of wanted to do was spousify me, parentify me, have me and my dad sort of be like her parents, and she was the immature teenager downstairs watching TV late into the night and snacking. That seemed like what she wanted. She was comfortable in that. She didn't want to talk about the larger picture because she knew it didn't make any sense.
Amelia, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, when she was cleaning up the kitchen, you seemed to get angry in a way, like, about how she was, like, singing and just kind of, like, doing her own thing in a way that, like, maybe annoyed you, just, like, her kind of laughing at her own situation. I don't know.
Or it's like, what's wrong with also saying, I don't like the conversation that's being had, so I'm going to do something that I like to do, like watch TV to de-stress. Seems like your dad watches TV to de-stress all the time.
Yeah, but I understand, like, you can't really understand that, but it wasn't like it was just de-stressing and then she was like, okay, you know what, but I do actually want to deal with this. I need a break. It was like, I don't want to deal with this. I just want the break to last forever, because she's immature. I mean, she has yet to answer the most basic question about her and my dad, which is like, are they married? Or are they getting a divorce, or are they getting an annulment? Because I asked her the other day if he got a girlfriend, if that would be cheating on her. And she said yes. And I was like, so you think you're married to him and you think it would be infidelity for him to get another woman?
I mean, I think that
you're not but then she also says, your father has abused me since she said to me, we never clicked since the day we met. I could never appease him. So then I said to her, like, so why are you attached to you guys being married? Why wouldn't you seek an annulment or a divorce, whatever you choose? I would say it would make sense to get an annulment, but if you wanted to go the divorce route, like, it doesn't make any sense. Isn't that not the fundamental question of their relationship?
Wait, hold on.
Well, the easiest answer to me is just that, like, she's still trying to get away from your dad. She's hugely influenced by him. She loved him. That was her family. That was her whole life. And so it's obviously she's dealing with a bunch of
she never loved my father romantically. She doesn't even claim that. She doesn't claim. She's never.
I think probably what she meant by saying that, yes, it would be adultery and he would be, messing around on her or whatever. I don't think it's that she cares and she's romantically attached anymore and that she would care in that sort of way. I think she meant in the biblical sense that it would be, because they're legally married.
I mean, yeah.
No, she meant in a moral sense. I said, would it be immoral? And she said, yeah, he'd be cheating on me.
Well, yeah, it is immoral if you're Catholics. Yes, of course, that covers immorality.
So you're saying just because the formalities haven't been figured out, but she essentially thinks that they are annulled or divorced, whatever she would say. I don't know.
No, I don't think she does, because she goes by what the Catholic belief is that they're married until they have been divorced and annulled.
So then why isn't she seeking an annulment? Wouldn't I'm asking from her perspective. Forget me. Wouldn't she want resolution on this issue? This is my point. She doesn't want to figure it out. She just wants to say, your father is a sick bastard who's cheating on me, and whatever else she comes up with. He's a wife-beating rapist. But she doesn't She
All
doesn't.
right. Well, sounds
She.
like that.
I remember when when I asked her this, I said, let's say that my dad kicks me out of the apartment, gets a divorce, gets an annulment, which you have to get a divorce first, gets an annulment from the Catholic Church, and gets a girlfriend. Would he be cheating on you? And she goes, yeah.
Okay, fine. Then she said that. It doesn't, she's still connected to your dad emotionally, whatever. That's something she's having to deal with. But I think the end result of this is like right now, Grace, are you happy where you are? Is this like this situation? If this situation where you were lasted for another 30 years, would you be okay with it? Or do you want something to change? I'm not saying move out from your dad.
Me?
I'm just saying, yeah.
I mean, I don't have any hope that it will change. I think she gave up on sort of like facing the facts, and I think she just wants to live in a fantasy world for the rest of her
No.
life.
I mean you. I sorry. I mean like your life. Like, are you happy with where you are right now? Like, if this point of your life lasted for 30 more years, would this be okay? Or do you want certain things to change? Are you happy?
Well, I mean, obviously, I would hope that I would be in a different place in 30 years. I don't know what you mean.
Okay, so you do want to be in a different place. You don't necessarily want to be living with your dad. Who knows?
RD, that's a retarded question. Why do I want to be in the exact same point I'm in 30 years? Who would say yes?
Okay, well,
do I want to
okay,
be...
well, what do you see for like yourself in the next 20 years? What's your hopes and dreams?
Where do I see myself? Famous, rich, successful, lots of money.
And still
maybe being a beard to like a famous gay guy. I don't know, something like that.
Interesting.
Living with my dad, I don't think it would really matter if I lived with him or didn't.
Okay.
Maybe
I mean,
not.
I knew people that lived with their parents and they just took care of them until they died, and they weren't, they're good people, and that was what they did. So yeah, people do that, obviously.
I wouldn't really characterize our relationship as me taking care of my dad. But
No. I just, you know what I mean. Just like there's people that do that live with their parents forever. Like that happens. And
yeah, I mean, I actually looked this up in the Catechism of the Catholic Church. It says, in duties of children to their parents, it says some people may forego marriage to pursue careers or to take care of their parents or to join the monastery or nunnery. And all of those are perfectly valid. So,
yeah.
It is interesting. I wouldn't characterize our relationship as me taking care of him, but yeah, I would say like that would more apply to somebody who like the mother or father dies and they sort of take over and they sort of like forego marriage to help the family. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so do you see yourself in some way as like a monk or a nun? Like,
you said that you would want to marry somebody who's gay.
That's interesting.
So you don't.
No, I'm just kidding. I was just pointing out that is a possibility in the Catholic Church for both genders, for both sexes.
Right.
I wouldn't say I'm closed off to marriage, but right now I would not say I'm like capable.
Would you consider that like a service then, like to kind of skip that part of life and just be like kind of in service, not doing anything else with your time? Like in service to a man.
I would say if I was called to it, yeah. If I right now I do not feel, I don't know really, I don't think I'm really in a place to say if I have a calling to marriage or not, because I just don't think, I think you would have to be capable of marriage to discern whether you, I mean, marriage is sort of the status quo for most people, and it would be you would have a calling to something other than marriage. But I don't even think I'm capable of marriage. So I think right now I'm doing what I'm doing is good, sort of, talking about all this family problems and also creating interesting content online is what I feel called to.
Do you think is all this stuff right now, by the way, with like, are you pissed at Lala for making this clip go viral on Ethan's Twitter?
No, I think it's a hilarious clip. It works for both. What the point is that all of these abuse allegations are just people seething, because it honestly, even if you say it's all true, the problem is that it totally works for both me and my dad.
Okay. All right. Like,
so
yeah, we're leftist faggots. Like me and my wife were leftist faggots. So I guess like you'd assume people like us.
We're both consenting adults, right? If this is all true, we'd both be consenting adults. I got all the money, right? I manipulated my dad into giving me all of his money. I do have all of it. I've manipulated him into ditching my mom, paying all the attention to me, taking care of me, giving me my own place, giving me a career, right? Like, if it's all true, how would I be the loser? Or how would he be the loser? Isn't it my mom who has no money and is taking care of my siblings who would be screwed over if that was all true?
Okay, so then okay. Well, and I remember once you said in like a VC, you're like, oh, why is everyone so obsessed with incest? Like, is it because the father is supposed to be like trusting, like, you know, is it going against a daughter to like do that with her? That's maybe what some people's issue with incest is. That like it's
I think the reason people are so wound up about incest is because they find it hot and they don't know what to do about it. I honestly, like, if you look at Pornhub, it's like a lot of it is incest. Sure, they say step bro, step sis, step mom, stepdad, but like obviously the real thing would be hotter. They're just putting that there. I mean, I think people are sexually stimulated by the concept of this, which I think is kind of gross, but I think everybody else finds it, or a lot of people find it like hot, and so then they feel like they have to have moral outrage to, you know, a lot of the times if you yourself are secretly in the closet, you'll rampage against gay people because you are projecting your insecurity about yourself.
Right.
So do you think that that's like the same case with like pedophilia? Is that the reason why people are so
I don't want to talk about. We don't have to get personally.
I honestly think if you asked men and they were super, super honest, because pedophilia is not really an issue with women at all. Like it's almost negligible. But I think if you asked your average man, I think because porn and stuff has been pedophiliized, so that like sort of the perfect pussy would be like a child's pussy. Like, frankly, that is what the ideal is.
No.
I think people.
No.
Well, yeah, hairless, smooth.
I don't like
puffy.
hairless. I don't like what?
Okay, well, the porn ideal then would be hairless, smooth, puffy, all contained. Like none of the really characteristics of a woman
outside of porn that have to do with incest, like things like you read about, and like I don't know, like your dad watches Soft White Underbelly. Like there's a few people on there that come in and they talk very honestly about how they've been, you know, either molested or they've been in a consensual incestuous relationship with their parent. I mean,
there's a woman named Tracy. Have you ever seen that video? There's a woman named Tracy who like had a consensual.
I've watched a lot of Soft White Underbelly, but I don't remember specifically.
Yeah. But she ended up.
But, I mean, like I feel like there are like there's porn and then there's like actual incest allegations that you hear in like the news or whatever, you know, like that's a little different. I think the reaction to that isn't like I'm horny. I wish I was that person. I wish I was Tracy Hutchinson, who is a sex offender because you know she was molested by her father and had like a consensual sexual relationship with her father, and then had a son of her own and did the same thing. So I don't know. Like, I don't think that people want to like idealize it.
I mean, I do think there is a taboo part that like naturally makes everybody go like, ugh.
Or that there's trauma
not like
that comes from it.
You know,
that people are traumatized.
Yes,
people have been in
but
those
it depends if you read into incest, right? There are different incestuous relationships. Like there is a relationship where, for example, the father can seek out the daughter to get sexual validation. He sort of like manipulates her into giving him sexual validation, right? So the daughter can be completely innocent in that situation. But the key thing is that there's 3 people involved, and the mother would also be involved. And the mother in that case would generally either she's pretending she doesn't know, or she's actively like allowing it to go on. It's very rare that if you say to if there's a situation like that and the authorities go like, so you had no idea, and they go like, yeah, no idea. Like, it's not true. Either the mother doesn't want to hear it from, a lot of times, even in those situations, the daughter will say to the mother, this is what he's doing. And the mother will go, shut up. No, he's not. You're lying. Go away. Right.
So you're blaming your mom. So you're saying that your mom, if this did happen, your mom knew enough and didn't do enough in a theoretical situation. the mother doesn't.
No. I as I said, there were some incestuous elements to our relationship, and it wasn't that. There is also a dynamic where the mother is both cold to the father and harsh towards the daughter, and so the father and daughter sort of find themselves together, and they go like, "What the fuck is going on with this lady? We are nice people. We like each other. Why is she mad?" The daughter clings to the father, and the father goes like, "Yeah, you seem nice. What's going on?" And usually the mother will lie about both members to the other party. So, for example, if all the allegations are true, my mother would have lied to my dad that I was a brat, which she did do, which wasn't true. I wasn't spoiled or anything. And she would have lied to me that my dad was abusive, which she did do and continues to do. So, there are different dynamics, but
I mean, I could see that she feels like your dad's abusive, if this is theoretically what she said. And then she also feels like maybe like what we saw in this footage of you throwing water on her, that's kind of bratty behavior. Like, I could see how that's bratty, not wanting to let her leave. But maybe someone else would say,
I don't think it is at all. But
okay,
I just simply because you feel like, yeah, was it somewhat immature? Yes, but she had been stonewalling me for hours and hours and hours. So you only see that part of it. But like at a certain point, if somebody is stonewalling you and not giving you any response when you're crying, pleading, asking them like, please, can we solve something? Can we figure something out? If you just keep begging them for that and they don't give it to you, yeah, eventually you will lose, sometimes you lose control.
Here's another thing I've always wanted to ask you. Once we were on a stream and I talked about John and you cried. Everyone said you were fake crying. And then also it showed like you posted a bunch of texts from your dad. I can understand maybe you don't want to respond to this, but your dad was really pissed in those texts that you were crying about your brother. Do you think that's like healthy behavior?
I think that, for instance, with my brother John, I think there is an unhealthy part. Like, I think in a family, there can be an unhealthy sort of sentimentality. Like, if I was actually with my brother John, I would find it incredibly tense and sort of like, I don't like him as a person. I think he has some good aspects, but like he's absolutely like attempted to ruin my reputation online. So, but there's this sort of fake sentimentality, like, oh, well, we used to grow up together, and it's like, blah, it's sick, it's unhealthy, it's like worshiping your family. It's not actually true.
So it sounds like your dad is saying you shouldn't feel sentimental about your brother. You shouldn't worship your family, but they're your family. You love them. It sounds like someone else might say that he's trying to desensitize you to not like your brother or to feel less sentimentality towards him. I don't think that's a healthy father personally, but that's just my opinion.
I don't think sentimentality is good. It leads you to it leads you to sort of like lie about what's happened to make things seem better. Rose-colored glasses.
So then what's love? How do you express love towards your people you love without being sentimental?
Like honest, sober reality and like doing things that make sense. That's how you show love.
Okay, because I really think that when you cried that you were showing a part of yourself that was really wounded and was like, I love my brother and he's hurt me so much by saying this fucked up shit. That's what I think. And anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's kind of gay. Like, all right, get over it.
Right, okay, it's gay.
Whatever, he's an asshole.
So in a sense, your dad, and a word, and I don't use this lightly, is kind of brainwashed you to say, don't be sentimental about your brother. Don't have positive feelings about your brother. He's the enemy. So I just think that's unhealthy.
Yes, I'm a victim of brainwashing.
Okay, you're not a victim, blah, blah. You're not I know you don't like that word. Okay. How about this?
Look, guys, look, RD's wife, you can call me or you can call my dad. My dad will put a kid in you and he'll beat you without any rules. He'll do the BDSM stuff. He'll do the BDSM stuff without any rules. He'll fuck you on the Xerox machines and RD can sit and watch. And Ava, I'm sorry. You didn't get my dad's cock. He's not interested in you. Okay, sweetie. I know you wanted to turn it into a rape fantasy.
Look,
you think you're getting your hair pulled is a rape fantasy.
Here,
okay.
Mute Grace.
Yes.
Mute Grace.
This is the brainwashing, okay?
Wait. Answer.
Oh,
stupid,
look what she did.
stupid whore and fat
You're
loser.
proving yourself to your dad.
Bye.
You're proving
so
yourself to your
boring.
dad.
Do better next time.
You're proving yourself to your dad. Oh, look what she did. Look what she did. We got her to open up a little bit, and then she had to prove herself to Ben that she doesn't have real feelings, and we're all pieces of shit. I'm fat. Oh, look what Grace did. She decided to say some horrible sexual stuff to my wife, who, by the way, fuck you, Grace. You know, like, oh wow.
I just feel bad. Like, I don't know how much is coming from like her, but it is like super weird just to go there and like, yeah, I don't know.
I'd say that, in my opinion, most of that would be directional from
he gave
Ben.
He gave her the
most
signal.
of it. In fact, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Even for her jumping off at that very moment, I'm 99.99% sure it was completely. He gave her the signal, like RD said, that okay, it's time to cut it off. Say this, get off. It's time to go.
Yeah. I mean, that's what happened because she was. Did you notice Grace was actually kind of talking about real shit?
Yeah.
She was talking about real shit, and I just think it's interesting. Like Ben, anyway. I think it's good. I don't know how you feel, Ava, and everyone, but
that was a good line of questioning. No,
I think we got some good things out of Grace.
I'm glad you got to.
Sorry, I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, dude. I feel like you've had like these questions for. I'm letting him take the wheel here.
Well,
those were some really good questions. You
Thanks,
handled
Dan.
it very well.
I think we should do this again. I don't know. I think this was cool. I don't know, informative. I don't know if you guys would want to keep doing these streams.
Definitely.
How do you feel?
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anyone have any closing statements? What should we say about all this?
Oh God, dude. See, she just did the whole Ben thing of like, fine, fuck it. Like I couldn't even follow half of that. I could not follow half of that.
Oh,
like,
you got it. Yeah. It's like you always have to. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. She goes to the personal attacks, but then.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so slimy. This is why I was hesitant to have her on, because it's like you ask her one question, she does. I don't know what the word is of just immediately throwing in a whole bunch of other shit.
I mean, look. Obviously, by the way, Ben clearly has some weird thing towards Amelia, my wife. She did a weird love bomb on Amelia. Did everyone see that?
That was.
I think that's coming more from him than Grace, in my honest opinion,
they
for sure.
remembered that Rusty had told them before that we don't have kids, so that was like that thing. Like they always use that, whether it's like
taking notes for the vulnerabilities. Very
Dusty
common.
And Melina, like he did that to them too. Like, oh, like Melina is just begging for a baby and like all this shit. It's like so insane.
That no woman wants you, Ben. I'm sorry.
I can't help but to laugh because it's like so just
dude,
abstract.
and the whole incest thing.
Right, she basically admitted to it to me.
Well, that's what's been happening. I feel like just Lolo's video and stuff. It's not like a denial anymore.
Especially what we just heard wasn't a denial of anything. She was basically like, "I like this. This happened."
Yeah.
Her saying maybe it happened kind of disappeared eventually.
Which I don't understand, because it's like the whole reason why you're mad at your brother is for saying all this stuff. So, but y'all are like no longer denying it. So what's the issue?
Right.
Between you and your family.
And I feel like back to what we talked about. I think it's important to say Courtney was trying to be downstairs, trying to have a peaceful thing that essentially Ben told her to do, and Grace attacked her. And what I think everyone could see, no matter how much Grace wants to say, Courtney's crazy, Courtney's immature, like, how can you follow / do whatever they want you to do? She was saying, I'll do whatever you ask. If you'll let me be with the kids, I'll do whatever you ask. And there was no one way to be, because whatever way she wasn't good enough. And so that was, I think, why we all wanted to go over this. It's like, this is a microcosm into a couple hours of their life. Right. Look how brutal it is. Look how brutal it is.
Sorry.
No,
I just made like a note for this whole thing. I was just like, like a lot of people like dumbly ask the question like, why didn't she leave? Why did she leave or whatever? And I was like, you know, none of that really matters. I feel like we got like this in these 2 videos, we get this perfect view into that why. Like we see Courtney get this ultimatum from Ben, and there's a mix of wanting to leave and wondering if she's going to be able to keep her sanity if she stays to take care of the children, which she's kind of being coaxed to do within the mind game.
Right. And we saw her leave and we saw her stay, and it never turned out right for her. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks for letting us do this, Ava. Thanks to Winter for
Thank you.
This was all really,
Yeah.
I think, good stuff.
Did you make a channel, by the way, that you want to shout out?
We need to do it later. We'll do it in the next video. We'll have it. But
okay.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yes. Thanks,
See ya.
guys. This was
Bye.
fun in the most
See ya.
bizarre way ever.
Bye.
Hey, let's meet up in a VC for the after discussion.
All right.
Thanks for having me up, Ava.
Thank you for your contribution.
Good show. Good show. Very good job.
Yes. When's the next video? Probably a few days, a week maybe. Maybe we'll make this like a weekly thing. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. Thank you. I'm happy that I was really nervous to do this. So I'm happy that's well received. I would like to get like erudite or like someone that's more of a professional to come in possibly. Ava provided keynote raise her age. It was awkward this time around, but I like that she tried to entertain. Yeah. Lalo, it was crazy seeing you on Modern Day Debate with Destiny. I need to watch that. Yeah, I'll mod you, Welsh Republic. Alright, y'all. I'm just gonna end it here. Oh, and I'm making a Discord soon, so watch out for that, and I'll put the link. NSE. Okay.